Welcome to the following presentation of the Southeastern Conference on ABC.
The SEC wants to know, is South Carolina legit? Around here, fan mood was doom and gloom after a sluggish opener. But last week, the Gamecocks crushed Kentucky behind a ferocious defense. A rare conference road win has the Gamecocks faithful fired up and re-energized. And South Carolina is perched atop the SEC for the moment. But to stay there, they have to deal with a tougher breed of cats as the LSU Tigers come calling to Williams-Brice Stadium today. As always, this place is sold out and filled with hope and belief. Welcome to the SEC on ABC. And ESPN College Football presented by Tums Gummy Bites. Inside the Tigers locker room, Garrett Nussmeier. He's been solid at quarterback so far, but he has a severe test today against a nasty pass rush. LSU's game wrecker, Harold Perkins, looking to get after South Carolina's 19-year-old freshman quarterback. Lenora Sellers has been growing every week. Is he ready for this test? He'll want to feed Rocket Sanders, the ex-Razorback, healthy, hungry, and looking to run downhill right through the LSU defense. Welcome to Williams-Brice Stadium. Kickoff between the Tigers and the Gamecocks coming up soon.
For the third consecutive opening weekend of the Brian Kelly era, LSU 0-1.
We're sitting here again talking about not finishing.
We ain't even scratching the surface how bad we can be.
The SEC game, crazy environment. It's a blessing. I mean, you live for moments like this.
But now only got to go 1-0, so to get a win on the road, it means everything.
They want to beat you. You can't let that happen.
It's two great teams going at it. Gets your blood flowing for sure.
With an early loss, there certainly is urgency for LSU, and they will be tested today. This fan base is so famous for its loyalty. Through good times, through frequent rough times, they show up and show out and make noise. And the Gamecocks' entrance to the theme from 2001 Space Odyssey is about as loud and electric as it gets, even at high noon. Brian Kelly's team pretty good at taking care of business on the road. He wants his team to play fast and fearless today. The Gamecock faithful always do their part to bring the energy. Now this Gamecocks team, home underdogs under Shane Beamer, a role that they've excelled in the past, needs to build on the energy and keep this crowd energized. Light years different from their sluggish win against Old Dominion in the opener, where they needed the defense to bail out a struggling offense. Nussmeier seeking calm in this cauldron of noise. Can he be sharp came up a little bit short in the opener against the USC from the West Coast. Captain's ready for the coin toss, and Jason Autry, our SEC referee, will take us through it.
Captain Jason Autry, referee Jason Jason, your umpire today. LSU, we're going to call it. This is heads. South Carolina, the whole team. This is heads. This is tails. That's tails. Call it before I flip it. It's called heads. We're going to let it hit the ground. It is heads. You've won the toss. What do you want to do? You're going to defer. You're going to take the ball. Which way are you going to kick? I'm going to kick that way. Turn this way if you would, please. Over there. Okay, LSU over here. Come here. LSU has won the toss and elected to defer. South Carolina will receive the north end. Have a great ball game, man.
The South Carolina offense brought back just one starter. So many new faces. The defense, however, has a bunch of grown men. 4th, 5th, 6th-year players who decided to come back for one more go, and they are determined to be the best defense in the SEC. And that group will get plenty of support from this crowd. Rocket Sanders never really had a big game against LSU when he was at Arkansas. Will be counted on to get this running game going today. LSU deferred, and this Gamecock offense, and young Lenora Sellers would get the football first. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit has sprinted from the game day setup to the booth. Holly Rowe joins us. Good job. Are you feeling good?
Yeah, I feel great, man. Little bit of heat, humidity, but ready to go. This is going to be a great scene.
I talked about the question, is this South Carolina team legit? You know, in the SEC, it's hour by hour, week by week. But right now, there's tremendous energy and hope. They just got to feed off this and try to pull the upset today if they can.
And Shane Beamer, I think, told us yesterday it's going to be one of those games that they're going to have to win with their defense and special teams, kind of Beamer ball, field position, get that short field. Their offense isn't ready to drive the field against a defense like LSU.
That may be a season-long thing, win with defense and field position and special teams.
No doubt.
But the win over Kentucky by 25 points was a strong statement. Sandstorm, creation of a Scandinavian DJ a few decades ago, has become a tradition here. Aaron Burrell is a true freshman kicker, recovering from a kneecap injury. He'll kick it off for LSU. And Juju McDowell, dangerous return man at his goal line. Great to be in the SEC at high noon. And McDowell will let the ball bounce in the back of the end zone. So Lenora Sellers is a local guy, had a tremendous senior season in high school, won a state championship at South Florence just down the road. Sat out, redshirted a year ago, backed up Spencer Rattler, watched and learned that he's grown pretty quickly through his first couple of games. He's had some mistakes, but he's also had some high points, and he's a guy that can run and throw and beat you multiple ways.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's a game. It's only his 3rd career start. So, I mean, he's going to be learning as we're watching him here in a game like this against LSU, facing a blitz-happy defensive coordinator. Got to avoid those 3rd and long, move the pocket, use his legs, and stay on schedule.
Azio Bennett in motion. They flip it in the flat, and making the catch and breaking the tackle is Joshua Simon. They'll use the tight ends effectively today. That's a heck of a first play. Picked up 17.
Yeah, you're going to see them have a lot of opportunities to try to use impact players like Rocket Sanders. Thompson, the left tackle, is a true freshman. Keep an eye on him. Savion Jones leads the defensive ends, 35. And of course, Harold Perkins, when he's back to throw, number 7. We'll look out for him.
Feeds Sanders, and he barrels up the middle. Nice high percentage throw to get Sellers settled in early.
Very smart. You know, I think they understand coming into this game that he's got more than enough ability to run this offense, but like any young quarterback, you know, he's known kind of a dual threat guy. Said yesterday to us, I can sit in the pocket, I can get outside. Really, it's whatever's called upon me to do.
After a 6-yard gain on first down, Sellers from the pocket delivers a slant, and the catch is made by Jared Brown. And they move the 6 again. He beat Ashton Stamps.
Now, man coverage, you got to get some help from your wide receivers, get a little bit of separation. Not bad coverage here by Stamps, but a perfectly thrown football. 2 now for Sellers here on this first drive.
Gamecocks getting chunks of yardage in his opening possession. They feed Sanders again. He gets around the right end, has a little crease, and rockets Sanders down to the 31 before Deshaun Spears got him.
Yeah, Kason Henry, the right tackle, does a really nice job here, just kind of setting that edge. Get him to pin him to the inside. Maybe got away with a little bit of a hold there. Got his right arm up on the shoulder pad. But Sanders, he has a load. He's about 230 pounds running downhill. A very tough back to slow down with arm tackles.
It's an offense that needed touchdown drives of 3 yards and 6 yards after fumble recoveries to beat ODU, and was sluggish at the start against Kentucky. So very different looking offense. That throw is high over the arms of Jared Brown. Yeah. Here's this offensive line, which had a lot of experience, but is still a question mark.
Yeah, and I think they're kind of like a lot of teams around the country with new faces up front. Look at the left tackle. We talked about him being an impact player. That's Josiah Thompson, who's going to be a superstar, but he's playing in his 3rd game, and he's going up against this LSU defense. That's why I'm saying when they're throwing on their terms, they're okay. They get in 3rd and long. We'll keep an eye on that left tackle.
Sanders off the right has a big hole into the secondary. Down inside the 5. Running and passing. This offense looks sharp. They got 27 more.
Great job against the pressure here. Kind of combination. The center Lee, Simpkins, the right guard, handling that pressure, opened up that crease. That hole opened up the 2nd time. We've had a chance to see Rocket Sanders have a little bit of room to work with. The transfer from Arkansas put some weight on. He dropped the weight for this year. You can see a noticeable difference in his quickness.
In 6 plays, they have quickly muscled down to a 1st and goal. Keeper Sellers picks his way to the right and is tripped up, reaching for the end zone. Touchdown, Gamecocks. What a start.
What a job by the young quarterback to somehow stay elevated. Extends. This offensive line had an incredible opening drive. Kamar Bell, the left guard, just throwing Elliott. Look at that. He's up. He is up, and that is a touchdown. Great body control. It's the progressive pylon cam. Use that left hand. Stays up, leans, and gets across that goal line. What an opening drive for South Carolina to get this game started.
Couple of quick completions to get the confidence going. He's obviously a red zone weapon with the way he can run the ball. He had 4 plays, Kirk, in that drive of 10+ yards. Alex Herrera makes it 7-0 less than 3 minutes in. The home underdogs could not look more impressive in their first possession.
Welcome back to Columbia. I'm Holly Rowe. You saw that LSU defense taxed on the very first drive. They have got as many as 7 players as new starters or in new positions today. Let me tell you, the front defensive tackle Jacobian Guillory out with an Achilles. In his place, a true freshman, Ahmad Bro, was in on that drive. Not only that, but Harold Perkins is in a new position today. They've moved him back to that strong side linebacker. Guys, lots of new guys. A true freshman starting at safety in Deshaun Spears. They are going to have to gel quickly.
They sure are. It's a short kick. And Xavier Thomas, the transfer from Mississippi State, who is a very dangerous return man, bottled up at the 22-yard line. So trying to answer right away is Garrett Nussmeier. Of course, backed up Jaden Daniels the last couple of years. He loves Louisiana. He lived 8 different places in Canada. His father, Doug, of course, the coaches Jalen Hurts for the Eagles. Pretty good start. 3 touchdowns in the bowl game, and had 6 against Nicholls State. last week after bouncing back from the loss to USC. But this is a serious challenge against a very physical, experienced, and nasty pass rush today.
Yeah, talented defensive front. Have 8 guys they rotate. They'll try to keep them fresh and attack this offensive line from LSU with 2 really good tackles.
Josh Williams gets the start at tailback, bounces off contact. It'll be a collective group there trying to make up for the season-ending loss to John Emery at running back.
Yeah, Caleb Jackson, you're going to see a lot of Josh Williams. Jackson, I feel like, is the guy to be the next back for LSU. Lacey, we know about on the outside of the perimeter. Alex Huntley sat down with us yesterday. Could run for office. He's one of the most impressive men in college football. And Dylan Stewart is a young man to keep an eye on, number 6 off the edge, one of the more talented true freshmen in the country.
Meyer's first throw is a long one and is caught by C.J. Daniels, who stopped a little bit short of the marker. Well, this LSU offensive line features a couple of tackles who are on Mel Kiper's first-round draft board. Will Campbell, Emory Jones Jr. If there's a concern, it's sort of up the middle against these big guys on the Gamecocks front.
Yeah, because of what's across from them. Yeah, I mean, very, very talented group, especially on the edges. Only new players, the DJ Chester, the redshirt freshman, here an early 3rd down for LSU in front of this crowd.
Haven't been super efficient in this department through 2 games. Meyer looking to throw for it. Pressure off the blind side, and he airmailed the pass to Kyron Lacey. He got leveled by Gilbert Edmond, the Seminoles transfer.
Well, we talked about how they have rotational ability. This is a blitz on 3rd and short. Watch them pressure one way, and then they're able to turn the offensive line and get free because of the pressure. You saw the All-American Will Campbell, the left tackle. He steps down. Watch left tackle. He steps down. Because of that blitz that they created, it opened it up for Edmond on the blind side to get in there and affect that pass.
LSU fans saying, really, we weren't going to run for it on 3rd and short. The running game has clearly been a problem. The punt by Peyton Todd taken by McDowell, and Juju jukes and muscles out of bounds, and the Gamecocks off the opening touchdown set up a good field position. Just a 37-yard punt. There's that Sonic Drive recap.
First time South Carolina had the ball, it was a masterful opening drive by the young quarterback Lenora Sellers. Got Raheem Sanders involved, running, catching. Some big holes to open, but if there's anything I took away from that opening drive, just watching this in real time, physicality at the line of scrimmage. Without Guillory in there for LSU, that experience and the power he has, you're relying on some young people up front to step up. In the first round, went to the South Carolina offensive line.
You see Sellers is not wearing the trademark prescription goggles. He's going to contacts for the first time today. He's hit and brought down right at the line of scrimmage as a long-time contact wearer. That's pretty interesting, man. He was not wearing the contacts at walkthrough. Well, hasn't worn them that often. Barely put him in his eye. Now he's out there playing.
And he kind of mentioned it very nonchalantly yesterday. I don't know if he doesn't know about the buzz and the hype about the goggles and everyone getting excited about it. They're selling them here in town. And he said, enough of that. I'm going to contacts.
But to make that adjustment in a game, I mean, they're life-changing because you can really see well, but he's not used to it. Lofting downfield into traffic. A flag comes out. 2 of them, in fact. Stamps was in coverage there. 2 receivers. I don't know if that was a mix-up.
No, it's 4 verticals. The inside receiver just kind of gets pushed to the outside, so you have a couple guys near each other, but the LSU defender never located the
defense,
football.
number 1. 15-yard penalty for the previous spot includes an automatic first down.
I came out of that LSU-USC game thinking big picture with LSU. The biggest concern I had for Brian Kelly and Blake Baker, their new defensive coordinator, was how they're going to hold up on the edge in conference play on the perimeter. That has everything to do with him never locating the football and preventing Jacobs from having a chance to potentially work back to the ball. Once there was contact, and there's Blake Baker, and his head is not turned towards the ball, that's a problem, and they're going to call that.
Baker comes over from Missouri, where he coordinated Tigers' outstanding defense the last couple of years. 12th the penalty. The Gamecocks once again in LSU territory. Short gain for Sanders.
You know, this defense really thought, I mean, it was a big focus in the offseason about trying to get this defense corrected. You know, we talked about them in their matchup against USC and what they needed to do. Blake Baker trying to do. Now they've got some injuries. Pushed around there on that opening drive.
Fake. Flipped in the flat, and that's Joshua Simon, another tight end that we'll see today. Ball comes loose, and South Carolina has made the recovery. Man, they've been lucky this season, falling on their own fumbles.
No doubt about it. Chris, the motion comes from the right to the left. Look at LSU. They never adjusted to the motion. So you got a couple of receivers already out there, man-to-man coverage. There's the ball. They're able to get back on top of it. But nobody followed the motion of Joshua Simon. Easy read, easy throw again for Sellers.
Gilbert knocked it loose. But as happened 3 times against Kentucky, they recover their own fumble. Quick throw, but met immediately. Jared Brown by Sage Ryan. The LSU secondary just doesn't have the physicality, the size, the length that we're used to seeing in Baton Rouge, do they?
Now, especially a corner, you know, like I said, when you're going to play Blake Baker's scheme, you want to be comfortable leaving your corners on islands. And if I'm Blake Baker, honestly, tonight against Sellers, a guy who's unproven as a passer, you want to put him out there and trust him and put the other 9 into the run game and the short pass game. But right now, South Carolina holding their own in the pass game.
Empty backfield. Sellers gets outside the pocket and delivers a high ball over the arm of Mazio Bennett. Gilbert in coverage.
They put that on a line, and you'd love to see when he starts to get away from that, just kind of put a little floater, a little bit of a touch on that between the safety and the corner. I understand there's urgency because he's on the run, but if he would have gotten that out a little earlier and just gone over top a little softer, receiver could have caught that ball, protected himself, and gotten that first down.
So 3rd and 11. Pressure, long throw downfield into the end zone, and it's intercepted. He took a shot downfield. He was hit as he got rid of the ball, and Zaire Alexander, veteran who started 8 games a year ago, part of that group, makes the pick.
That is exactly what you want to see if you're an LSU fan. First, it starts with the pressure. Who's going to get in the face of this young quarterback? They bring a stunt, affect the quarterback there by getting their hand up, and a heck of an effort there by Alexander, who turned into a wide receiver there to come down with that interception, get LSU the ball.
Makes the catch, gets knocked into the hedges, but the takeaway, what LSU desperately needed early.
ABC College Football is presented by Tums Gummy Bites. Get fast relief of occasional heartburn. Use as directed.
You know, they keep the identity of the cocky mascots a secret until graduation. Fremont Miles unveiling the shoes kind of give it away.
Yeah.
It's a unique tradition here.
Very cool.
Nobody knows who they are
until that day.
Yeah. So LSU off the takeaway, set up at the 20. Meyer has plenty of protection, and he's now dragged and throws a pick. Taken away. O'Donnell Fortune to the house. There are flags down on the field, so hold up. Is a horse collar going to take away the pick 6? Kyle Kennard grabbed the quarterback.
Yeah, I think it will. You know, again, they're getting after the quarterback, but this time by Kennard grabbing the back of that jersey and yanking the quarterback down. A pick 6, I think, will be taken away from South Carolina.
Protection was pretty good as he tried to escape the pocket. The pass rusher from Atlanta, Georgia Tech transfer.
Personal foul.
Grabs it
Horse
right there.
Tackle.
Yep.
Defense number 5. Prior to the pass. The 15-yard penalty is enforced in the previous spot and includes an automatic first down.
One of the mature leaders of the defense, the guy who's got a couple of kids, and he shows some strength with that.
He really did. Important sequence of plays. We get into the 3rd and 4th quarter, depending on where this game is. Really missed an opportunity with a young quarterback throwing one up, makes one of his first mistakes of the year. The interception by LSU, get the ball back, and then a potential pick 6. So you're looking at, it could be a 17-0 game here early in this game for South Carolina. Instead, it's 7-0, and LSU has the football.
Penley moves it to the 35. Jackson is the back. He's got it, and he barrels ahead. You know, this running game has been tough. Obviously, with Jaden Daniels, they had an elite running game last year. 6.5 yards every time they ran it. It's been under 4 yards through a couple of games, and fans are concerned about that.
Honestly, and I've talked to Brian Kelly about this. You know, he says Caleb Jackson and some more young backs, Juwan Johnson, they have some backs coming, but they haven't had an elite back since going back to Darius Geis or Leonard Fournette.
Sideline throw broken up beautifully as Fortune, who had the pick six taken off the board, got a long arm out there.
Yeah, Clayton White, the defensive coordinator, said he was around Richard Sherman at Stanford. He said, one thing I learned about being around Sherm was how important it is to be able to find corners with length. They tried to build that here in Columbia. Fortune on one side, it's 6'1". You see the length to make that play. Collier on the other, 6'1", 201. So two big corners in this South Carolina defense.
Yeah, that wingspan is imposing. A guy with 5 career picks. So in third down, here comes the noise, here comes the rush. Nussmeier looping, throw, catch made, and stretching for the first down is Aaron Anderson, the little 5'8", redshirt sophomore Alabama transfer.
Great effort by Nussmeier to give his receiver a chance, Chris. The offensive line just getting pushed right back into the pocket by South Carolina. I'm surprised he even got that ball off, but he did.
First down carry for not much. An LSU offensive line that hasn't given up a sack through 2 games, and Nussmeier really hasn't been pressured that often.
I watched Debo Williams fill this hole. These linebackers are getting downhill. This is a clinic tape right here. He's not in the picture. He's going to come from the left to the right, just closing, reads it, and fills that hole right there. That is beautiful. He bounced off one on one of the first plays of the game. This time he wraps up and makes a great play.
Linebacker play has you excited. He's an all-SEC guy.
Yeah, it's beautiful. That is setting the tone in front of this home crowd.
Going in motion and making the catches, Xavier Thomas. A flag comes in on the tackle by Judge Collier.
Official threw that emphatically at an LSU receiver who might have been blocking out there on the edge and got a hold of a South Carolina defender's jersey.
Brian Kelly has already had one huddle with the officials during a timeout. He won't be the last.
Oh, he likes the huddles, the TV timeouts.
He uses all 3 minutes to make his case, doesn't he? And then some.
You draw the short straw when you get in the SEC officiating crew and you get.
He'll be the side judge over there.
Yeah, right. I don't know if they're going to wave this one off. Yeah, they got him with a hold.
Negates the catch by Xavier Thomas, who's celebrating his 20th birthday today.
Man, Chris, effort, flying around.
Holding.
Line of scrimmage.
Offense number 4. The penalty is declined. Results of the play is third down.
Aggressive approach that Brian Kelly's team is facing right now here on the road. Here's the 2, Mason Taylor out there and C.J. Daniels.
LSU is mightily struggling. They don't have a single conversion on 3rd and 7 or longer through 2 games. And they need 10 here. It is loud again. It's Taylor going in motion. 3 receivers to the right. Nussmeier looking that way, and they give up their first sack of the season. Bam, Martin Scott, and Kyle Kennard converge at the quarterback, and LSU going backwards.
I'll tell you what, I think the defensive backs switching their responsibility. They're playing an inside out. Watch the inside out approach and how they look like they're aligned, but they come off the receivers. I think that switch, playing inside out by South Carolina, affected the vision and the decision making by Garrett Nussmeier and allows that pass rush once again to get home, led by 5, Kennard.
Boy, this matchup here, this defensive line, all these veterans against the hyped offensive line of LSU is going to be interesting. Both sides are juiced up for the challenge today. The punt by Todd will roll dead at about the 25-yard line. 42 yards on the boot. Gamecocks back to work, up a touchdown midway first here in Columbia. And pick 6 by South Carolina taken away by a new enforcement of the horse collar rules. We bring in Bill Lamagne to explain what we're talking about.
The new rule this year says that anywhere on the field, the horse collar tackle is a foul. Where a year ago, being in the tackle box where the quarterback was there would not have been a foul. The interception and the touchdown would have stood. So that new rule change had a big impact.
Bill, thank you. Gamecocks on their own 25-yard line, keep it on the ground.
Chris, if I'm Blake Baker, a defensive coordinator, still learning his guys, their strengths, what they feel most comfortable with, especially on a road like this, it's not about scheme. It's about attitude. It's about getting after South Carolina. They've allowed to kind of weather the storm here. It feels like they're down by 10 or 17 points, 7-0, one possession game. You got to settle into the game, start winning the line of scrimmage.
Beamer, a lot of respect for Blake Baker. And Sellers flips it last minute on the perimeter to Joshua Simon. There's a flag down. Was he across the line of scrimmage?
There's a flag on play.
Do that as long as it's not a forward pass. One of those like downfield options the old Sooners used to do.
Yeah.
That definitely was a forward flick of the football.
The line of scrimmage is 26. It looked like it got out around the 25.
It has to be all the way across.
Maybe a illegal man downfield, possibly. They had a couple guys downfield.
Plenty of those.
Yeah. I think one of their linemen is 5 or 6 yards downfield.
There is no foul for an illegal forward pass. Ineligible receiver downfield. Offense number 52. 5-yard penalty for the previous spot. Repeat.
You can understand why the lineman thought it was a run.
Yeah. Well, it looked like, I think we all thought he was going to take off and run. It's almost like a zone read with that as his third option. It is, ironically enough, the modern way of running triple option, which is a well executed play, with the exception of it puts a lot of pressure on the offensive lineman, knowing am I allowed to get downfield or not.
It's an offense that, at least until that first drive today, has struggled to make explosive plays. So penalties like that, setting the back on 2nd and 14, can be hard to overcome for this offense. Sellers against the 3-man rush has plenty of time and delivers a strike on the sideline. They made it pretty easy to pitch and catch there that time to Nick Harbor. 17-yard gain as the sprinter. They've been dying to see him get in the open field, makes a catch.
Yeah, the fans really want to see the big man get involved. 6'5", 235, has great speed. You can see the respect that LSU has for that speed. Sitting back in a 3-deep zone, way back, expecting him maybe to go downfield. And instead, he's showing that he's really become a complete receiver. Nice outcut, easy throw for Norris again, or for Sellers again.
10-100, 20.2 200-meter for the track All-American Harbor. Have you heard of this video game, this EA Sports college football game? They brought that back this year. He's got a 99 speed rating on the game. It does not get better than that.
Did you green light that? I mean, that is he the is there anyone else?
There's a few couple 99s.
Man, that's an honor. That is cool.
They just got to make it translate onto the real green grass here.
Right.
But you can see, you're right. I'm Stamps. Oh yeah. Here comes 8. I'm bailing.
Yep.
So 2nd and 9. Sellers 5 for 8 in the early going. Slant. Another accurate throw. And the catch is made by Mazio Bennett, a starter slot receiver as a true freshman.
It's a pre-snap read by Sellers. Inside receiver had that soft coverage. He had the option to go right or left. And with that soft coverage, he just wanted to give himself a chance, get to that 3rd and short where they're trying to live today against this LSU defense.
Did well to get back to 3rd and 2 after the penalty set them back. And they may be set back 5 more.
Delay game. Defense number 35. On move that simulated the snap.
Yeah, this is a thing. Now, if you're an LSU fan, you know from the game that we had in Las Vegas that it's a new rule with the defensive lineman. It's not necessarily about the delay of game saying move. It's about all 3 of these defensive linemen moving together. That's where there was a big argument with Brian Kelly with the staff and with Blake Baker trying to understand this new rule and how it's more emphasized. So they could go either way. We saw that. That time they call it on LSU.
Georgia does that very effectively. It's kind of enforced differently conference to conference, isn't it? But the way they moved and then kind of used their arms, it made it a little bit dramatic, and that's what I think drew the attention of the flag that time.
Yeah, and true freshman Thompson, you know, he ends up jumping, but catches the break there by going on LSU. They keep this drive alive here. Now they're in plus territory.
Josiah Thompson there, the first true freshman day 1 starter here in 5 years. Keeper, Sellers to the edge, and he scoots out of bounds. Another flag comes in as he gets it to the LSU 40. Sinatri and company have been busy here so far in the first quarter. Yeah, Rashawn Lee, the center, looked like he had his helmet ripped backwards. Lee, the one returning starter on this offense, and LSU, another one of those self-inflicted wounds.
Yeah, and that's a frustrating play for LSU. You know, like I said early in this game, they've been losing that battle. You wonder if that LSU defender that got engaged there with that face mask, maybe out of frustration. It's Paez, the transfer from Wisconsin, right there, just grabs on, pulls it. Really, really good fundamentals from Lenore Sellers on that zone read. Stayed on that ride a long time to make Swenson, the defensive end, collapse, and then he pulled it and went around him.
Set up inside the 25 now. Keeper again has a lead blocker, makes a little cut, and then takes a hit. It was Stamps off the corner delivering the shot there. So short gain. Lee, the center, back in the game after getting that helmet looked at. Say, Kirk, if you told South Carolina fans you're going to have 127 yards in the first quarter of offense, they would take that every single time. It's been a struggle, especially early in games.
Yeah, and LSU has 7 here.
South Carolina has called their first charge timeout of the game. It's 30 seconds away.
You know, Sellers, a guy that beat out Robbie Ashford, who came over as a transfer from Auburn with experience. But he's a guy that's going to get better and better and grow very quickly. Obviously a very sharp kid, hard worker, and we're already seeing today in the first quarter a big step up from even the road game at Kentucky last week.
And even yesterday in our meeting, just for a young guy, just kind of chill, kind of composed. I don't think the moment's too big. Now that they're getting into conference play, the fear of SEC defenses, he is a confident guy. He's confident not just in his ability, but I think the guys around him. This is a team that has to play complementary football if they're going to win. The defense, special teams, and then running the football with Rocket Sanders is really going to be who they are. That's their identity. But anything they can get as Sellers throws in this offense, and we're seeing that here in this first quarter, it's going to make them become more and more confident that it doesn't just have to be Sanders in the run game.
And it didn't have to be the defense setting them up on the doorstep to get into the end zone.
Exactly.
They dominated really in every category. LSU's barely had the football.
Remember down here early, the last possession, they were down in here about a 30-yard line. He threw one up against pressure, showed his youth, and threw that interception.
He runs right again. LSU unable to get him to the ground, and Sellers run out of bounds about the 17-yard line. Yeah, they were in field goal range. Could have had the 3. It was a 3rd and 11 play. As you said, kind of the first rookie mistake we've seen him make today, but he's bounced back from that.
Yeah, and I like the plan that Blake Baker is trying to defend with Dow Loggins, the offensive coordinator. A lot of eye candy, a lot of different formations, trying to impact the eyes of the LSU defense. And the Tigers got to tackle better. You know, they've been in position to make tackles and bring these guys down, and they've just missed them.
3rd and 2, final 30 seconds of the opening quarter. Sanders runs into a wall, but just powers his way. He's gotten leaner, reshaped his body coming back from lower body surgery and a torn labrum before he came here from Arkansas, but he's still got plenty of strength.
Oh, yeah, it's another example. They had him stopped short of the first down, but that power and determination, he picks up the first.
Gamecocks up 7 and on the march. The end of the first quarter here in Columbia. Back after this message and a word for your local ABC station. You're watching the SEC on ABC. We're back on the SEC on ABC. ESPN College Football presented by Tums Gummy Bites. End of the first quarter. Gamecocks trying to add to a 7-0 lead, outgaining the Tigers so far 135-7.
And a balanced attack.
Yep.
73 on the ground, 62 through the air.
First down run from Rocket Sanders, who's been busy, but hasn't really been able to bust one yet. The guy you root for just because of the injury stuff that he's come back from, the work that he's done in the offseason.
How about they're telling us all summer in there at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, working with his strength staff, doing extra work, trying to get himself in game shape, get his body back to where it needs to be, and to be able to be not just a good back, but a durable back.
He's a 1,400-yard rusher a couple of years ago, then got hurt last year. Missed most of the season. 2nd and 7. Sellers looking to get the ball out quickly. It's a low throw, and the catch is made by the tight end Simon. Holly?
Well, you're talking about the work that Raheem Sanders did, and when he got here, remember, coming off an ankle injury and a shoulder surgery, he weighed 248 pounds. I am told that today on game day he's at 225. The young man that's working with him, Chip Morton, has been in the NFL for 27 years, and they said that he is the most diligent, accountable worker he's ever had.
Yeah, I mean, no fun to be there at 5:30 in the morning, but there's nothing. They'll check out and see if, in fact, Simon did make the catch. Looks like the ball did hit the ground there before he had control of it.
And a second time as well. That Bill gave the confirmation. We missed Billy here in the booth, but maybe get him back soon. He waved that off from the monitor.
From the Lamagna estate, he's in the home compound there. He's looking in on this. We look forward to having Billy back in the booth, as you said, but he's doing a great job from there. Yeah, that's clearly scrapes the ground and comes loose. So
everybody's been going with this song. The relief pitcher from the Mets kind of got that going a few years ago. Now everybody's got it.
Pretty good game ops environment here.
Oh, they do great. The crowd's amazing. Shane Beamer warned us yesterday. He said, wait till you guys, we haven't been here. 2 years ago, we were here for their game against Hendon Hooker and the Vols, but game day hadn't been here for a number of years. This is an awesome fan base.
I mean, if you believe this, the last time the show was here, I was a host. That's how long it's been.
Think about that.
10 years ago.
What year was
14.
14.
We were here in 10 when they beat Alabama. That was an amazing environment. 2010.
Yeah.
2012.
Yep.
Took down Georgia. So they've had some big wins.
Yeah.
They'd like to add that to the list. By the way, we expect them to wave it off. It'll make it 3rd and 7 back at the 10-yard line.
After video review, the ruling is incomplete pass.
Yep.
The receiver did not control the ball prior to hitting the ground. It'll be 3rd down at the 10-yard line.
So you got one of those 3rd downs in the red zone here. Obviously, it's a chip shot. You just want to avoid the kind of mistake you made earlier.
Yeah, you avoid the mistake. You put Sellers in a position where, you know, at the worst case, he either makes a quick throw or he can utilize his legs. You know, if you get him out on the edge. Remember, this is where Blake Baker is going to want to turn up the heat. Give him a different look. Give him an exotic. Change it up. Try to free up Harold Perkins, 7, and company to get this pass rush and see if they can create a turnover.
Big conversation in the Bayou Bengals nation always is, where do you play Perkins? How can he be most disruptive and most effective? They want him nearer the football in general, not back in coverage. They show pressure and bring it. Sellers from the pocket throws a slant. It's incomplete. It bounced off of the receiver there, Jared Brown. Stamps was in coverage, and here comes the field goal team.
I'm trying to see if Stamps got that right hand around or if it did, just like you say, just bounce off his chest. Pretty tight coverage there. You can see the hand come around to try to get in there and have an impact. Here's a much closer look at it. I think he did. Kept that left arm. You can see him engage after, but he kept the left arm free from his body and got the right arm around to knock it away.
28-yarder for Damian Ramos, 3rd-year kicker. Or excuse me, Alex Herrera for the Gamecocks. And no problem. Knocks it right through. So they drove it 65 yards, a methodical drive, 14 plays, and they add to the lead. 10-zip South Carolina. Early second in front of a charged-up crowd. Gamecocks shutting out LSU so far. Built for success, presented by Ram Trust. Success really means Gamecocks defense.
Yeah, they've been getting downhill. Just to me, winning the battle of determination. Trying to get the ball out quickly. Look how quickly those dark jerseys are flying around. 3rd down pressure, mixing up the looks, changing up the coverage. Made Nussmeier that time hold on to the football, allowed Kennard to come up with a sack. So really it's gone the way of South Carolina in this first half so far.
Great job getting off the field. LSU's only run 9 plays so far. Here's Xavier Thomas from the 2. And Thomas spins free, and it's about to the 25-yard line. So 2024, a sack odyssey. The spaceman on the South Carolina side talked about the freshman Dylan Stewart, the speedster, celebrating his birthday, and Kyle Kennard, the veteran, and these guys over here, Campbell and Jones, who hadn't allowed a sack this season, but that's old news because they have so far. Edge Gamecocks spacemen.
Nice.
The head-to-head.
That's a good one. And a great matchup that we'll be watching throughout this game.
Nussmeier on the play fake, rolling out, makes a long sideline throw, and going down, trying to make the catch. C.J. Daniels, they were trying to wave it off on the Gamecock sideline. They call it a catch. There's a flag down, though.
Rough to quarterback after the throw. What an effort there. Heck of a throw. I
think he got it.
Almost, yeah, I think he did. Swain almost looked like he helped keep the ball off the ground there. But after the throw, they roughed the quarterback after he's out on the run. Lowers his head. Ball's clearly out.
It's Gilbert Edmond. Yeah, that's clearly a personal foul, and that kind of mistake tacked onto the game moves the ball quickly into Gamecock territory.
Yeah, first time we've seen some positive yards and moving the ball into plus territory here.
Pass was 11, the penalty 15 more. Both teams hurting themselves with penalties so far here.
They're going to take a peek to see if he in fact got his hands underneath to make this catch. Like I said, I thought Swain, the corner, in a weird way kind of helped prevent that ball from getting down and hitting the surface. See the left arms down. See that's a right hand right there of the defender.
The turf. No.
I didn't see it.
No, I don't see it.
No. Look at the white glove and that arm. Left arm's there, but look at. Keep growing here. See the defender's arm is in there to try to keep it from hitting the ground.
Daniels, a transfer from Liberty. Effective weapon in the first couple of games. They've gone to the portal to kind of come up with a bunch of dudes. You replace, Neighbors and Thomas, 2 first-round wide receivers. Lacey steps up to become the featured receiver, which is a new role for him, new responsibility that he's still kind of growing into. And they bring in a bunch of new guys that Nussmeier was trying to work with over the summer.
Yeah, and they really miss Chris Hilton, who's still out with the injury to his foot. Hopefully back soon.
I mean, he's get him back next week.
Yeah, he's the vertical threat and really completes the arsenal. That's got to be a catch.
After video review, the ruling on the field stands. Catch, first down.
So the football to the South Carolina 48-yard line. Bone bruise to the ankle. That can take a long time to heal. That's such a painful injury.
Yeah.
But it will change the dynamic when they get him back on the field. Teams can't quite focus as much on Kyron Lacey, who's certainly an elite receiver himself. Short gain off the right side by Caleb Jackson.
This is an offense that's still searching for an identity in the run game. Jade Daniels was such a big part of what they did last year with Mike Denbrock, who was the offensive coordinator now at Notre Dame, and Joe Sloan has taken over. But without that playmaking ability at quarterback, you got to do it the old-fashioned way, and they are struggling to run the ball.
Pressure on 2nd and 9, another long throw. Kyle Parker, the intended receiver.
You know what makes it hard when you don't fear the quarterback's legs? Those linebackers are just firing downhill and making it hard on these offensive linemen having a chance to get up to the second level. And until you hit some big plays, try to slow this defense down, they're just going to keep coming after you. They're basically running downhill after that line that's got experience and size.
There comes that pass rush package, the guys we featured, Dylan Stewart and Kyle Kennard on the field on 3rd and 9. Jawan Johnson, the true freshman multi-purpose guys in the game. Play clock at 2. Nussmeier under pressure, backpedaling, flag is down, and the pass is incomplete. It was Kennard who got there in a hurry. I think LSU's offensive line flinched. Man, that's an imposing group. I mean, we've seen in the first couple of games them wreak havoc, and you wondered, okay, you know, Old Dominion had a totally new offensive line. Kentucky had a couple of starters knocked out up front in that game, and you wondered, are they just really good, or could they be elite? And they say they're elite.
Fouls on the play by the offense. Illegal formation. Right tackle not on the line of scrimmage. More than 4 players in the backfield. That 3 is declined. Intentional grounding. Offense number 13. The ball being placed with the loss of down. 4th down.
So it's 4th down. They got Nussmeier for just kind of throwing the ball in the dirt there up the middle, and you don't see a grounding call like that very often, but it'll send out the punt team.
No, I think he ends up throwing. That's the offensive lineman in the backfield. We've seen more and more of that in the NFL and college, the right tackle there. He throws this into the ground, into the feet of 4 offensive linemen on a screen. The back actually slipped out to the right, so there was no back left there for him to throw that ball into the ground.
So even with the benefit, the 15-yard penalty, the Bayou Bengals go backwards and stall, and Peyton Todd comes out again, and it's blocked. The Gamecock special teams, another big play. It's scooped up along the sidelines and knocked down at the 10-yard line. Beamer ball strikes. Complimentary football. All 3 phases involved this afternoon. Buddy Mack, the 3rd, ended up coming up with the football. We'll see who made the block.
Chris, you're going to be very impressed with this effort. Right up the middle. Watch right here, just freeze him up. A little twist there to try to affect the communication. Look at the effort. He goes airborne, head over heels. Look at this effort. I mean, that's an all-time performance right there, and an effort by Brown to be able to come up with that.
And Shane Beamer, who loves nothing more than a special teams play, of course, going back to his dad. And that has set up, Don Staley likes it, set him up 1st and goal to add to this double-digit lead. Sanders into the end zone, 1-play touchdown drive, and the Gamecocks are cooking.
We talked about his effort to drop the weight. This is what all that work he put in, all that sweat equity he puts into this. This is the result, the ability to jump cut, use his vision. It's a beautiful job here, being able to get away from potential traffic up front of this LSU defense. The block, the effort, tremendous job there to be able to come up with that, put the South Carolina offense in great position, the jump cut and the speed and the power and the awareness to get it in and to give South Carolina a 17-point lead.
Well, here's a tremendous effort by Maurice Brown II.
I mean, look at this. Look at that follow through. That might be the best effort I've ever seen by a young player trying to make a block on a punt.
He's been doing great on special teams. This is what happened. We'll show you after the kickoff. Practice on Tuesday, and there's different ways to reward players for being special team standouts, making effort plays just like that. But Shane Beamer, in a very dramatic fashion, delivered the ultimate reward for a guy who's from Maryland and is a walk-on.
There he is right here on kickoff coverage.
And his block and the touchdown run has this place completely unhinged. Take you back to that moment on the practice field Tuesday.
Where are you, Mo? Mo Brown, where are you? Appreciate your toughness. So I know you ran 21 miles an hour in that game. Your ass better be running 22 miles an hour to the bursar's office today to ask for a refund on the tuition you paid this semester.
You rare reference to the bursar's office. But I love the teammates' reaction because they've seen in practice every day what you just saw on the field here, that kind of effort and energy.
Yeah.
Often kind of a thankless
how fitting.
job.
He gets rewarded with a scholarship on Tuesday, and he blocks a punt in front of this crowd against LSU on a Saturday.
It's going to get tougher and tougher for this LSU offense with this crowd noise. So he goes to the reliable Mason Taylor, and the tight end with the catch out to the 45-yard line. LSU feels like they got to do something here quickly.
Yeah, they do. And this time, Taylor here works across, but I think it's really Josh Williams out of the backfield. Watch how he impacts the linebacker on the left there. He goes to him, opens it up. Nice hole and a good throw in rhythm by Nussmeier.
That play, Kirk, just about tripled the yardage that LSU had before that play. They got 20 that time. Williams runs through one tackle and spins to midfield. Holly?
Well, guys, it's gotten up to about 107 decibels. Last year, 114 was the loudest at any stadium we were at. Garrett Nussmeier, with those new in-ear helmet communication systems, he's had to put some plugs in his ear holes of his helmet. You can see he's got these black plugs blocking that outside noise, trying to help him hear the communication so the exterior noise is not getting into his helmet.
We cranked the music to 11 plus at practice, trying to get used to this crowd and the new helmet microphones, but it's hard to simulate this. Hand off inside, and breaking tackles is Thomas. They use the speedy receiver in a unique way, pick up 12.
Yeah, counter play. They pull the backside guard and the tight end, the H-back, Mason Taylor. Good patience there. Good vision there, really, for a receiver in Xavier Thomas coming over from Mississippi State to be able to see that cut back into that nice hole. This is LSU football here. This is what you like to see. Throwing the ball in rhythm, opening up some running lanes.
Going to do something to quiet this crowd if they can. No pressure on him. Nussmeier gets the ball loose, and that's Josh Williams out of the backfield near the marker at the 28.
Great decision. Just check it down. It's not fancy. Nothing wrong with that. Defense going to take your receiver, Kyron Lacey, away downfield. You check it down to Josh Williams, get some positive yards. 2nd and 1.
Yeah, Kyron Lacey targeted just once today, Kirk, so far. Doesn't have a catch, and if the defense can take away him, it really does limit this LSU's offense ability to make plays downfield.
Yeah, they got him up at the top now, isolated by himself.
Williams fights for enough to move the sticks. 1st down. They were going to be very attentive to where Lacey lined up and hope to not get too many one-on-one matchups against him with a corner isolated.
Well, it's an advantage for LSU with his speed against the corners that have size. That was a battle coming into this game. When you get one-on-one matchups on the outside, you got to win them.
Lacey out of the game for this 1st down play. Nussmeier flips it in the flat, and the catch is made by Caden Durham, one of the young running backs, getting a touch, getting into this rotation.
You know, we talked a week ago about John Emery, who worked so hard to get back in his 6th year and went out with another injury. He's had injuries now the last few years. We wish him all the best. This team is waiting for somebody to emerge. It's really more about a committee right now, but Josh Williams, Caleb Jackson, Juwan Johnson, and seen a lot of different backs. There's Durham.
Still in the ball game on 2nd and 9. Gamecocks show pressure, bring it. Nussmeier backpedals and delivers underneath, and it's incomplete. Trying to find Kyle Parker. Judge Collier in coverage, and it's going to be 3rd and 9.
Yeah, he made a good decision to throw the ball back to Parker. He actually had 86 on the inside. Taylor open as well. Maybe an easier throw, a little more sure-handed, but instead he goes to the outside. Ball's perfectly thrown. Parker just unable to hold on to it, so it's now 3rd down and long.
Yeah, the kind of situation that in the young season has been really, really difficult for this LSU offense. They're in field goal range, need 9 to move the sticks here. It's Taylor coming in motion. They're going to try to run for it. Durham bursts up the middle, bouncing off people. Caden Durham lunges and scores. They cross up the Gamecocks' aggressive defense, run for it, and get all the way to the end zone, 26 yards.
I think South Carolina was more surprised defensively than anybody. Some of their defenders in the back end were kind of looking like, what's going on? Hesitant, and that hesitation allowed him to just go right through there. Good initial surge by that offensive line. I think he breaks the plane there. The progressive pylon cam gives you a better look. What an effort here.
Great job keeping the legs off the ground. The ball, of course, hits the ground, comes loose, but that point's already a touchdown.
Yeah, we talked about it back from LSU. Who's going to emerge? I thought maybe it's Caleb Jackson, but right when they need it, it ends up being Caden Durham.
That's a way to get more touches and get
sure
the
is.
rotation. Interesting call there, too. Joe Sloan, this is the team that struggled to run the ball on 3rd and 9. If you told me they got to run for it, you'd say it's almost like a give-up call. Get ready for the field goal team. Instead, it's a touchdown, and they're kicking a PAT to finally get on the board here midway second quarter. There's a desperately needed 75-yard touchdown drive. 8 plays, and the first college touchdown for Durham. It's him on the board. Ramos knocks it through. Only way they're going to dampen this crowd noise and climb back into this thing was exactly that. An impressive drive, cut to the Gamecock lead to 17-7.
Let's take a look at our AT&T clicker. Remember, 3rd and 9. South Carolina out here. Expecting pass. Look at the left side of that offensive line. Just no one left to block. The tackle's Campbell's able to get up on the linebacker. And look at South Carolina here, just kind of hesitating. Not really closing in to contribute and help out. That hesitation, the safety slipped, and good hard running from the 4-star true freshman, Caden Durham.
From Oklahoma City had carried the ball 5 times for 4 yards before today. So he got in that possession, got a touch, and then takes it to the house. To Kevin Nagani in the studio. Hey, Kevin.
Chris, good afternoon. Let's take a look at our multi-view, which is showcasing great games across our networks. A couple of underdogs. Keep an eye on ESPN right now. Memphis against Florida State in Tallahassee. How about Memphis with the lead and FSU coming off the bye? Bill O'Brien and BC up 7-3 on the road at number 6 Mizzou. That game over on the SEC network. Back to you.
Taking the air out of the ball there. That was their one way to compete against that firepower of Luther Burden and looking at Missouri offense.
Pass caught in the flat, and it's Joshua Simon, another one of those high percentage throws. Sellers has been accurate really from the first throw today. They get 11 more.
Interesting next 8 minutes at the end of this half. Been controlled by South Carolina. Remember, LSU gets the ball to start the second half. So up 17-0, now 17-7. What happens in these last 8 minutes?
That's a great point. You don't want to stall, give the ball back, and give the Tigers a chance to quickly build momentum. Not much there in the first down run. Whit Weeks in on the stop.
See that late adjustment by Weeks? You know, he was up, normally he's up off the ball as an off-ball linebacker back here, but they sneak him up to this edge of this defense, up to the motion. He'll come down late, has a free run to be able to get in and affect the quarterback there.
With the younger of the Weeks brothers, his older brother West Weeks, also a linebacker. They come from Watkinsville, Georgia. And the throw, catch made again by Simon, who shows some strength and bulls his way to the 45. A flag is down. Harold Perkins got him down.
The ruling is the pass was first touched beyond the line of scrimmage. Offensive pass interference, number 1. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat, second down.
Wow. And so Robbie Ashford is a quarterback. They bring in the 2 quarterback formation. That's a really costly penalty. Back them up 15 yards and take away the gain.
I think the interference is here, but I don't think that's on 1. I think that's on 8 Harbor. He's downfield blocking. It wasn't a 1 on the field.
Yeah, I didn't notice that Ashford had gone in the game.
That's the only thing I really saw there. Well, they're going backwards now.
Moves the ball all the way back to the 21-yard line. Let's see. Shane Beamer didn't love the call. And 2nd and 25. Sellers escapes pressure, takes off, and doesn't slide. He weaves his way. They get back a nice chunk of the yardage before Weeks got him down. Picked up 13 and make it a somewhat more manageable 3rd down play now.
I think one of the great mysteries to me in college football is Harold Perkins. Exploded onto the scene 2 years ago with all those sacks, and everyone thought, man, this guy is going to be a beast for LSU for a couple years, and just been moving him around to try to find the best spot where he can impact the game. Off-ball linebacker, outside linebacker, star. Here he is right now.
Here he comes. They get after the quarterback. Sellers is going to be knocked out. Ball's out. And who picked it up? Harold Perkins on cue. That's what LSU fans want to see. Him in the backfield, harassing the quarterback. And he talked about this crucial stage of the game. Yeah. What a takeaway for the Tigers.
Good call by Baker. He brings pressure, just trying to get some confusion created here. Shows it and then drops, and then also brings 7, Harold Perkins. So well designed, confuses them. Sage Ryan comes free off the edge, knocks that ball loose. And Perkins is right there because he's coming on the blitz, got it around Rocket Sanders, and picks the football though.
You see how twitchy he is, that little shimmy move to get past the blocker there. Great play by Ryan. And Perkins making the kind of impact play. Yeah, Brian Kelly is so frustrated. It's the talk shows, it's the message board. This kind of topic one in Baton Rouge is, why can't Harold Perkins make 5 sacks a game? Why is he not wrecking games for us? Remember he's so versatile, but where's the best spot for him?
Yeah, I think they're still trying to figure out. When you see him off the edge as a guy that can get to the quarterback, you think, boy, that's his position. And he has put some more weight on to be able to play, not just on the edge, but trying to play because of the versatility, that off-ball linebacker spot. But I think Brian Kelly wants to get him near the line of scrimmage where he can have a bigger impact.
Well, they're explaining to Kelly that they're going to rule this no fumble but a sack. They think Sellers was down before the ball was knocked loose. It's tough to tell that. They're going to review this. The replay center, as well as the replay official here, Mitchell Wilkins, will take a look. This is a better angle to see where
ball's out.
Yeah, the ball is clearly out.
Over,
yeah, clearly out.
Yeah.
This will be.
I mean, you see the right knee.
View.
And if you're that official, you could see that it's hard to see from a view, but this is a great look at the football being out. Knee's not even close.
You know, one of the things that we talked to Sellers about is ball security. He's so used to trying to make a play and extend a play, but at this level, there's big, strong dudes who are taught to punch the ball at, and he fumbled it 3 times in Lexington. The teammates recovered it every time, where it could have been a very different situation. That time, strong play by Ryan, who showed some physicality. One of the things has been lacking a little bit in LSU cornerback play, and that's going to be overturned. Clearly, it's a fumble, and LSU is going to be set up in scoring position.
Part of the youth of a young quarterback with Sellers is he's going to make some brilliant plays, but he threw that interception. He's kind of throwing the ball up, hoping, and LSU's Zaire Alexander makes the interception here, getting a little bit loose with the football on a big blitz from LSU. Now he's going to give LSU the football at the 20-yard line.
After video review, the runner lost possession prior to being down. The ball was immediately recovered by LSU. It'll be first down at the 18-yard line.
So what's the teaching moment there? Obviously, you're protecting a lead. Complementary football means your defense, until that last drive, was really stopping him. Last thing you want to do is to give him the short field before halftime.
Yeah, it's a little bit. It is a little bit challenging because part of his skill set is trusting him to make a play with his feet at times and scrambling. But there, he's just got to get the ball, get rid of the football, recognize that pressure. But that's like you said, he'll go back and look at the film and growth from these mistakes. But right now, if you're LSU down 17 in this environment, you've got to be proud of the way your team has kept their poise. Defense is now giving Nussmeier really good field position inside the 20 into the red zone.
Nussmeier rolls back to the right, scanning the field, has plenty of time to do so. Now just pitches it along the sideline to Taylor, who makes the catch.
How about Nussmeier just keeping his cool? I'm sure people are like, run, run, run. He's looking for the bigger play downfield, knowing that he had Taylor right there. It's almost a check down, even though he's rolling out. So he didn't feel any hurry to have to panic. He knew he was waiting. Worst case, he could just check it down to Taylor for positive yards.
Gamecock defense has not given up a red zone touchdown this season. Only 4 trips. They've allowed 3 field goals. That touchdown run by the Tigers was outside the red zone, and the man who scored it, Durham, is back in the game. Give it to him again, and Caden Durham, suddenly part of this running back rotation, plows down near the 11. It'll be third down.
I think LSU's just waiting for somebody to get that hot hand. Instead of being a running back by committee, it'd be great if somebody became the guy. They're going to rotate him back out. But it's nice to see at least a flash of from an LSU back here.
We thought we might see more of Juwan Johnson, the guy who was a safety until last week, a high school quarterback, now part of this running back rotation. Instead, it's Durham who stepped in. And they'll call a timeout, trying to get things lined up. Very important 3rd and 3 as LSU tries to cash in the takeaway here. And as you said, they'll get the football to begin the 3rd quarter. So real opportunity to string together a scoring run here. ESPN supports the College Football Playoff Foundation's Extra Yard for Teachers Week. We've been doing it every year, celebrating teachers who have inspired so many of us. To nominate a great teacher in your community, visit cfpfoundation.org. So a year ago, you're thinking about Jaden Daniels, quarterback rundown here. They were almost unstoppable in this situation. Now, of course, the attack is different. And Joe Sloan's trying to figure out who his guys are down here.
How about Malik Neighbors?
Yeah.
Brian Thomas.
Exactly.
I mean, think about the weapons that they had.
And a few options.
Yeah, down in this red zone. And worst case, like you said, Daniels could pull it down and run in there. They were lethal in these situations. They're kind of finding new answers. I like the poise of Garrett Nussmeier, man. I just like how he plays the position. Coach's son understands the little nuances of playing the position. Plays like a veteran, although he doesn't have a ton of game experience.
Dealing with the crowd noise here in 3rd and 3. It's Lacey who comes across in motion. 3 receivers to the left. Nussmeier looked to the right and now tries to escape. Flag is out as Nussmeier throws, and going up to try to make a catch is C.J. Daniels. They rule him out of bounds, and flag is in the kind of the holding zone.
Yeah, DJ Chester, 79, the center. And that's the hold that I saw.
So if they decline it, it's 4th down. Decision here for Beamer.
Holding. Offense, number 74. The penalty is declined. Result of play is 4th down.
See if Kelly, he'll send out the field goal team trying to get 3 points out of this takeaway.
It's on 79. There's not a 74 on the field, but watch the center. Just engages. He actually throws him to the ground after grabbing a hold of that jersey. So they wave it off and then attempt this field goal to get it within 7.
So the Gamecock defense, sudden change thrown out there after the fumble recovery does its job. And from 28 yards, Damian Ramos tries to cut this to a 7-point lead. No problem. As you said, good response by LSU on the road. Nothing was going right. They were getting worked over. They gave up a block punt. Down 17 and suddenly a 7-point game. Holly?
Well, good stuff there from this South Carolina defense. We talked to Boogie Huntley, Alex Huntley, who they call the mayor, but he'd prefer to maybe be a governor or senator. He's from Columbia. And this defense is so connected. 6 players start who are from this state. They have loyalty, dedication to being from South Carolina. But more importantly than that, they had a text chain all summer long. There were a couple of guys that could go to the pros, could go to the NFL, and the defensive text chain kept everybody connected. Hey, man, what are you thinking? What are you doing? A lot of guys decided to stay. Made a big impact, and the connectivity of this defense, you can see, is much improved this year for South Carolina.
Yeah, the core of this group, Holly, as you know, 2020 recruits brought here by Will Muschamp, and really felt like if they would make a commitment, come back and stay together, they could leave a mark. They could be part of not just a turnaround, a reinvention of South Carolina's defense. They feel like they can be, in their minds, one of the best in the conference, and that's not easy to do in the SEC.
And I think they've used the portal in the right way. When you have a nucleus of veterans, like you said, have been around since 2020, you bring in guys who kind of complement the veterans. You know, that's what Shane Beamer, he wants a veteran football team and just build them and develop them. And it's what he has this year on that defense.
They went to the portal for 21 guys, but more importantly, they have 38 seniors. Right. It's the second most in college football, and it's the most in the Power 4. Kickoff week 2 of the NFL, 10 o'clock tomorrow, Sunday NFL Countdown. Alex Smith going all access with Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. And on Monday Night Football, off to Philly as the Eagles host the Falcons on ESPN. Peyton and Eli Manicast over on ESPN2. So Doug Nussmeier is no doubt watching his son Garrett play. There's the assignment with that Eagles staff. So now just a 7-point lead as Sellers gets the football back with 4:28 before the break. A couple of turnovers for the quarterback here in the first half. Done a lot of good things. I think they're going to be living with freshman mistakes most of the season and hope that they get enough dynamic plays to balance that out. And there's the keeper, shows the acceleration. Sellers in a foot race. They won't catch him. Atonement, 75-yard touchdown. And Sage Ryan, who knocked the ball loose, whiffed on that tackle. Woo. Wow, that's the great. You've seen the Not So Great.
Yep.
That's the great.
That's what Shane Beamer loves to see. Wondered how they'd approach this last 4 minutes with his 7-point lead. The potential of maybe giving the ball back to LSU. And they put the ball into the hands of the quarterback, and the young quarterback delivers with a great read here.
There was just nobody there. It was Ryan who kind of overran the play, but basically untouched, 75 yards.
It's a power read for the quarterback. He's reading this play and kind of reading the flow of the defense as the receiver goes into motion. That's kind of what he's sensing. Look at all the white jerseys going with that jet. They think that ball is going out to the perimeter, but instead he pulls it, and look what the job he does at getting downhill. Now you're talking about a big man at 235 pounds running downhill, and with that poor angle by the safety, there's nobody left to catch up to him.
Again, local guy, initially committed to Syracuse. There was some uncertainty there. He didn't feel comfortable in South Carolina, who did not offer him initially out of high school. Upon further review, let's get the local guy here. It turns out he's definitely worthy of a scholarship. That's a great moment for him.
It really was. Sage Ryan had a tough ask, right? We saw him on the blitz, came up with a sack on Sellers, got the best of Sellers on that play. But on this one in the open field, you know, that's tough to be able to take on a 6'3", 240-pound quarterback. Made it miss, and then he was off to the races.
Ellie, the quarterback, is using contacts, not the goggles today. Shows that blazing speed.
Yeah, Superman is definitely out of the glasses now. He said that he has been clocked at 22 miles per hour on that GPS catapult system that they use. They have run him a lot in his first couple of games against Old Dominion, 22 carries. They want to call about 12 to 13 called quarterback runs. And when I asked him, were you sore after that kind of workload? He said, no, my body felt great. And I think you were all over this on game day today, Kirk. You and Coach Saban, you knew this young man is a weapon because it changes the numbers for the defense, hat on hat.
Yeah, Holly, Coach Saban gave an amazing film room session on his ability to run the option and what it does to defenses.
Big hit in the middle, Debo Williams colliding. Yeah, you don't want to have to run the quarterback 12 or 15 times in this conference. It's difficult to make that sustainable because of the wear and tear. But when you're untouched for 75, there's wear and tear.
But I think because the willingness to run the football, zone read, power read, quarterback draw, it makes defenses have to account and always have an awareness, and it really limits what you can do in coverage on the back end when you have a quarterback that can run like that.
LSU fans know all about that, as we talked about. There's another pre-snap penalty.
That was on the right tackle, Emory Jones. The crowd has been a factor the entire game, and maybe no more so than right now.
Man, it's hard to overstate the importance of that lightning strike, because LSU had the momentum. We talked about them going to get the football to begin the third quarter. Gamecocks had struggled. Quarterback could make a mistake, and boom, one play later, the lead is 14. Place is electric again.
As you watch college football, the way you get out of these kind of situations on the road, not just today, but all these games, watch the quarterback. The poise of the quarterback.
Nussmeier across the middle, delivers a dart, and it's Daniels running free up to the 40. Tigers with a couple of timeouts, plenty of time to try to cut back into the lead here.
Yeah, I like the call here by Joe Sloan, and again, you put the ball in the hands of the guy that you trust, right? 13 is a guy that's proven, did it in the LSU-USC game. He's doing it today. Plays with tremendous poise. You got to trust him to be able to make the throws and make good decisions, be accurate.
18-yard gain. It's still been a struggle for them to create the big chunk plays, but much better today. There's a high throw in the middle. You find Aaron Anderson just camped in the zone there.
And that's insane throw by Nussmeier, who's limping after he gets hit. He gets hit low after this football is thrown. They are able to hit this seam, but I want you to appreciate it's behind the backer. And look at it. He gets hit right here, throws it over this linebacker between those two safeties to give him a chance to get down. Just talked about how you got to trust your quarterback if he's got the poise. Nussmeier delivering here.
And he had to know that Kennard was hitting him down around the knee.
Yeah.
Just stayed focused. And LSU in striking distance, and they go right back to Daniels, who breaks a tackle, and he's finally knocked down to the 17.
Great job.
Be the 2-minute timeout now.
Great job of reading that soft coverage. Get it out there in a hurry. Let your receivers make a play after the catch. 3 bang, bang, bang plays, and they're inside the red zone.
So LSU threatening when you come back. Minute 55 before halftime. You know, such energy in Columbia off the big win at Kentucky. Game days in town. Gamecocks go right down the field and score immediately. Block a punt. They're up 17-0. LSU responds, immediately cuts into the lead, and then the 75-yard burst by Sellers gets it back to 14. And here's Nussmeier and the Bayou Bengals answering now.
Great potential for an answer here. They're thinking about that 2-for-1. Into the first half, touchdown. Start the second half, touchdown, and you got a tie game. See if they can capitalize on that first challenge here.
Back-to-back chunk plays sets them up first down at the 16. They pitch it on the edge to Durham, the man who scored the touchdown. This time running to the boundary, picks up about 4.
Not many people are gonna know this reference. He reminds me of a running back at Oklahoma the year they beat Florida State to win the national championship, named Chris Brown. Kind of a smaller back, or the same number, has the same kind of running style, shorter, kind of gets behind those offensive linemen, sneaking, able to get positive yards.
This guy is from Oklahoma.
Every time he catches the ball.
Play fake, zips into the end zone, caught, touchdown, Kyron Lacey. And Nussmeier, razor sharp response on that drive, and LSU can cut the lead back to touchdown now.
Yeah, we just talked about how you get yourself out of a hole on the road. Is not just this game, but all over the college football. You got to trust a quarterback who has poise, and if you're going to have a chance, he's got to deliver. And Garrett Nussmeier just delivered in a big way on this drive. What a response to that big touchdown by Sellers going the other way.
Finally get their most dangerous receiver involved. First catch of the day for Lacey. 5th touchdown of the season. Was tied for the national lead, and they mess up the PAT snap. It's Peyton Todd who's the holder, the punter. Slade Roy snapped it, so the lead is still 8.
But here's Lacey, as you said, Chris, they finally get him the football in this glance route. But what I want to watch is the action right here with Nussmeier. His eyes are on this safety the entire way. Watch his head, kind of read and feel. It's a run-pass option. Do I hand it off? Safety comes down, pulls it, throws it right behind him. So think about that. See that all over again, the sport. Run-pass option, eyes of the quarterback, not on the running back. Focusing on that safety, see him falling back, flips it with his wrist right behind the head of that safety, and Kyron Lacey gets into the end zone for a touchdown.
The dance wasn't long enough to draw a 15-yard penalty this time. And this is what happened. They just rolled the snap back. Not much Peyton Todd could do with it. It's worth remembering that instead of a 7-point game, it's 8. I'll tell you what, I did not expect 40 points and a lot of explosive plays in the first half. I thought that might be the final score.
Right.
I thought defenses might rule the day. Instead, there have been some mistakes, but both quarterbacks have made some nice plays, especially here in the second quarter. 33-point second quarter. Burrell boots it deep. Minute 20 from halftime. Let's check in with Kevin Nagandi, see what they got in store.
First State Farm halftime report minutes away. Booger McFarland, Kevin Nagandi here with you. Alabama, number 4 in the country in Big Ten country. The offense looking really good. Mizzou in trouble at home. Same story with Florida State. You were quiet before this game. You knew this was going to be a massive challenge for LSU. What are you seeing from South Carolina?
Well, South Carolina is running the football and controlling the line of scrimmage. But more than that, it's the energy and the effort that Shane Beamer has his team playing with. They're clearly more hype and more ready to play than LSU is.
Highlights coming your way. Cannot wait. Back to you, Chris, Kirk, and Holly.
That's true, Book, but the Bayou Bengals showing some fight, very much back in it here. Minute 20 before halftime.
Come on,
and handoff inside. Let's see if they just play it pretty safe here.
My
the locker room up 8.
Some of these scores are crazy, but Florida State, who's 0-2, down 13-3 to Memphis. That's Mike Norvell's former team. You know, Michigan looking good, up 21-3. I know it's Arkansas State, but after last week's game, just want to see some consistency from the offense and the quarterback.
SEC fans very interested in what's happening in Madison as the Crimson Tide cleaning things up after a very sloppy game last week. Sellers under pressure delivers a low throw incomplete. Their flags down back at the line of scrimmage. That's not where the coverage was happening. Now there's a second flag down in the secondary. So 2 different locations on the field with some laundry. Kelly's been
ineligible receiver downfield. Offense number 14. Pass interference. Defense number 12. Those fouls offset. Replay second down from the previous spot.
The flag downfield that ends up being interference was thrown very late.
Did he say an ineligible receiver number 14? Did I hit? I don't know if I heard that right.
That's definitely the call. We've had some number identification issues.
Yeah, he's a receiver.
He's allowed to be downfield.
Yeah.
They didn't change that rule.
No. I don't think Bill made that an emphasis this year.
So
no, but if he was covered by another eligible receiver, then he would be ineligible.
Yeah. Thought he was in the slot.
Sellers hit as he throws, launches downfield, and the catch is made by Jared Brown. Not playing it safe, not sitting on their big play.
I'm with you. I thought they would just try to get out of here. By the way, he's pressured again and is able to hold on. Watch on his left blind side. Braden Swinson gets in there. Does a good job of throwing that. And you know what? Let's give the receiver Brown, who we just talked about, was he downfield or not? He's downfield on this play. Downfield and made a great catch.
His body was twisting as he made the throw, and Sellers had the strength. 39-yard pickup. Now they try to find Sanders out of the backfield. Well covered. 22 seconds. They got a couple timeouts if they need them.
Got the 2 timeouts. 22 seconds. Getting close to feeling good about a field goal opportunity. Again, LSU has the football to start the second half. They're trying to get up by at least 11. South Carolina trying to get up by 11 here at the break.
Kind of a swirling wind. Right now would be a 52-yarder if they don't advance the ball further. That's very much borderline range for Herrera, who's hit from about 50 in pregame. Pressure coming, ball out quickly, and dangerous throw in the flat there. Braden Swinson had dropped into coverage and had a chance at a pick. A 3rd and 10.
So normally a quarterback sees a big defensive end like this. He's thinking, okay, he's rushing. This shows you some of, again, the youth, the inexperience. Great call. Instead, they blitz here and drop the in man. That's a big man to be dropping in the flat. He never even saw him. So you might think, why in the heck is he throwing it out there? His mind is not expecting Ford to drop out in the flat, but a nice changeup from Blake Baker to create that confusion.
Again, they need to get a little closer to give Herrera a better chance at a field goal. Pressure comes. Sellers does not want to take a sack, but they get him down at the 39-yard line. That's Swinson who makes the play, and now on 4th down and very long to see, as you see, holding his ankle there after the play is Sellers. His shoe is off and he's limping, and that's a concern.
Yeah, remember we just talked about Swinson's normally rushing the quarterback. That's what he does here. And here's kind of a green dog blitz. He's eyeing the running back. Sees the running back's in, so he's like, okay, I don't have to guard him. I'm going to end up blitzing. So both Penn and Swinson do their job. Swinson off the edge, wins against the freshman.
Watch the tackle here, Kirk. Oh,
yeah.
Bent awkwardly there.
Yeah, he sure did.
So they're still attending to him on the field. He got up, and then you can immediately see that he was limping.
Big guy.
It's a potential game-changing moment. Now, he left the game in Kentucky, went in to have a hip injury looked at. Was no big deal. Robbie Ashford came in and played a couple of series in that game, but then Sellers returned. And that is a plot twist that the Gamecock fans did not want to see just before halftime here.
And that you referenced earlier, even though he's a great runner, the risk in the SEC running your quarterback, and this wasn't necessarily a run, but some of the wear and tear you take playing that position.
And the last thing he wanted to do, obviously, was go backwards. They were already in fringe field goal range for Herrera. Now the loss, as Ashford comes in, takes over on a 4th and 14. With 5 seconds to go, they'll just have to heave it downfield. So a missed opportunity to add to the 8-point lead after a promising drive, and now LSU will spend a timeout on defense here to get lined up before this play. They do have another timeout. They don't have to necessarily try for a Hail Mary. They could throw something very quick and try to get a timeout.
Noticeable limp there from Sellers. They'll probably get him in there to the locker room here so close to the half, get an evaluation on him and see if he's going to be okay. And by the way, if you're not familiar with the quarterback situation in South Carolina, things would change drastically from the scheme standpoint of how they would attack without Sellers. Robbie Ashford, who transferred over from Auburn, is a 5th-year guy. Very athletic, very comfortable. You mentioned him earlier as a change-up guy who can run the football, zone read, but they would lose a great deal, become more one-dimensional if Sellers could not go. They'd have to rely more on QB run and the run game in general.
Yeah, just one pass attempt in his South Carolina career so far for Ashford. He's a guy that he started 10 games at Auburn. Most of them were a couple of years ago, but was just 3-7. Still, he's a guy that's been out there in this conference, and they're happy to have him.
Trades Green, who's 6'7", a wide receiver, true freshman, is back there just in case they throw up a Hail Mary.
And Ashford will set up a flag down, and he goes down. So back-to-back sacks by LSU. Savion Jones got him that time, and that is how the first half will end here in Columbia.
So for where this game was, 17-0, all the momentum, everything going for South Carolina. Man, just looking at these two teams jog off the field, a lot of energy now with LSU. Things have changed drastically as far as momentum going back and forth.
Yeah, teams jogging off the field, but the quarterback limping off the field. Let's go down to Holly with Shane Beamer.
Well, Coach Beamer, it hasn't all been perfect, but how do you see Lenora Sellers just growing up right before your eyes today?
Well, I mean, he's a hell of a player, poised, competitor. We're trying to screw this thing up. Offense, defense, special teams.
How so?
Just self-inflicted mistakes, taking sacks and missed tackles. Not getting points right there at the end of the half is a shame. But we knew this was going to be a SEC heavyweight fight. They got a hell of a football team, hell of a program, hell of a coach, and we got a great football team. So we got to go in here and get ready to go win this thing in the second half.
Sellers limped off, went to the locker room. If he's unable to go in the second half, how does that impact your offense?
It doesn't help, but we got confidence in Robbie Ashford and Davis Bevel both. He's got a little bit of an ankle. We'll go in there and look at it and see where we are.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Professor Beamer, kind of a hard grader. Holly was trying to say, hey, a lot of positives, and we're quote, trying to screw it up. Hey, listen, home underdogs in the SEC trying to get to 3-0 and stay on top of the conference. Lead LSU by 8. The State Farm Halftime Report coming up right after these messages. You're watching the SEC on ABC. And welcome back to Columbia, the SEC on ABC, the ESPN College Football presented by Tums Gummy Bites. Began a rainy day here. Now the sun is out. And South Carolina, an 8-point lead at halftime as we begin the third quarter. Obviously a concern for the quarterback. We'll get the report from Holly, as much info as we can on Lenore Sellers, who limped off, was sacked at the end of the half. But LSU's going to get the football, Kirk, down by 8. Good fight back so far, but what can they continue to do to help nullify this aggressive Gamecock defense?
I think the first thing is what Sellers his health is going to be a big factor in this half. But I think the big thing is, like we talked at the end of the first half, I think they haven't panicked. I mean, things could not have gone any worse for them on the road. And I thought they did a really good job of just kind of keeping their composure. And they get the ball at near the end of that first half, got the touchdown, and now we'll see if they're going to be able to capitalize here to start the second half of the football.
Thomas lets it bounce into the end zone. Holly, what have you learned about the condition of Sellers?
Well, they have taped up his ankle, and he is going to try to play. They're just not sure how much he can do. He was one of the last guys to come out of the locker room. You can see his ankle is heavily taped, but when he jogged out of the tunnel, he has a noticeable limp. Now, Shane Beamer reiterated at halftime, they do have a lot of confidence in Ashford. That is a big turn of events. We'll see how much Lenore Sellers can do, but how much can he run? That's such a big piece of his game.
Yeah, you want to say you have confidence in your backup, but they acknowledge the offense would change significantly if Sellers can't get back in there. Meanwhile, LSU trying to cut into this lead, and that's Caleb Jackson around the left side, runs out of a tackle, bangs off another tackler, and is stopped at the 45. He's up 19.
Yeah, great block on the inside. Good little combination to squeeze here, and then a kick-out block there. It just opened up. See the outside pressure by 5. Kyle Kennard just happened to be the play coming his way. That opened that hole up, made it pretty easy for LSU's offensive line. And we saw Caden Durham get some room to run, and now we get Caleb Jackson getting downhill.
He had 2 explosive running plays, 19 yards by Jackson there, 26 for the touchdown by Durham. Other than that, it continues to be a struggle to consistently move the ball behind this offensive line. Short gain there. TJ Sanders on the stop.
Again, I just feel like they're still finding their way as an offense. I think we're seeing after 3 games now what we already knew. That Garrett Nussmeier and the ability to throw the ball to these receivers. And
Sanders who made the tackle.
Yeah, Sanders, TJ Sanders, big athletic defensive tackle goes down. But I think we knew that part. It's just keep growing with the line and the run game. Becoming a more of a balanced team.
Nussmeier has time to survey the defense, and that offensive line needs to sit in there and be patient while he does that, and they didn't. Penalties crucial in the first half.
Illegal snap, offense number 79. 5-yard penalty.
It's the 6th on the Tigers.
That's the center. You know, I think he was trying to anticipate the call. He started to lean back to snap that football, and that's what the umpire was looking at. Watch the center with the football. He starts to flinch there, and that's all those defenders are pointing at him because all their eyes are on that ball.
So behind the sticks now, 2nd and 14. Nussmeier launching downfield, and it is caught. Aaron Anderson in a one-on-one battle. A flag came out. He was guarded by Jalen Kilgore, the nickel.
They created that matchup. They wanted to get Anderson matched up one-on-one against Kilgore. That was a slot fade.
Pass interference, defense number 24.
Watch Nussmeier get hit right as he throws his football, but that is a one-on-one matchup. The bigger nickelback, he's 6'2", 220, and he is not able to stay with Aaron Anderson. But look at the location of this football. Right over the shoulder of Anderson at 5'8", 187. He's usually not making plays downfield. It's usually as a slot guy, it's more underneath. That time with that matchup, they got it downfield.
That's a great wrinkle. Huge quickness mismatch. Now Nussmeier, miscommunication. That time Lacey cut inside. Fortunate in coverage.
Yeah, there's a mix-up. If he threw that inside, touchdown. He threw it to the outside, where more the coverage was where the receiver lost his leverage. So it's not quite He and the receiver not quite on the same page there, but boy, Nussmeier, how about that previous throw? I mean, if there's any question on a national level, you want to know what Nussmeier is all about, his ability to put the ball right where it needs to be. That ball could not have been thrown any better.
He struggled to throw the ball downfield against Nicholls State, and the issue, says Joe Sloan, quarterback in OC, says it's footwork. It's from the ground up. He's got to keep his feet tight. This is Jackson. If he starts to get long sliding in the pocket, Kirk, he says the balance is off, the accuracy is off. Today it looks much better.
Yeah, it does. And again, I think that's more who he is. Just from seeing him in that Georgia SEC championship game from a couple years ago to watching him against USC and then watching him again today. I think it's like any quarterback. You get into a rhythm, you feel good, your receivers are getting some separation.
So another red zone, 3rd down and long. They need 10 here. Plenty of time on the clock. Tigers shift around. Gamecocks showing pressure. They bring it, and Nussmeier to the end zone. A flag comes out. Anderson was tied up. Collier and Kilgore were in coverage.
Collier came off the receiver that he had in man coverage and ended up, he really wasn't going to be involved in the play.
20. The foul occurred in the end zone. The ball we placed the 2-yard line.
He had C.J. Daniels in coverage, but Daniels just ran a quick little hitch, so he just stopped on him. See him to the left there. He just stops, sees the ball in the air, wants to try to make a play on the ball, but instead makes a play on the receiver by getting physical with him, and that's what brought the call in.
Yeah,
he would have stayed with his man. That's not a penalty.
Such a damaging call on 3rd and 10 instead of a field goal attempt. They're set up at the 2-yard line. LSU touchdown, 2-point conversion. This would be tied after being down 17. Power formation. Jackson is the back, and he goes nowhere. Met right at the line of scrimmage by Kyle Kennard and company. They've been very disruptive. Edmond that time.
Chris, when you don't have Jaden Daniels or an athletic, look at this defensive line. Look at this. Everybody's pinching in. Just think if you had a quarterback that could put it in there and pull it and just walk around the edge. But they don't fear that. So they're just pinching inside against the backs in the run game. Makes it tough to run the ball.
It was Gilbert Edmond who made the play. Lost a yard, 2nd and goal. 2-back look now. Handoff. Williams fights down near the 1. And he wears that coveted number 18 LSU jersey. It'll be 3rd down. Nick Imanwari, I haven't called his name much. He's one of the top defensive players in this team. Made the stop. Crowd trying to make it tough. Handoff inside again. Williams doesn't get there, and it's going to be a 4th down decision for Kelly. They're about a foot away. Seems like an easy decision.
Boy, that defensive front, like I said, they keep pinching, making it so hard between the tackles to get much movement at all.
So here we go. One of those moments in the game. Gabriel Relaford, defensive end, is in there as a blocker for LSU, trying to get more muscle. Again, a 2-back look. Confusion. Nussmeier collided with the running back, throws it short, out of bounds. They had 1st and goal to 2 and come up empty. What a stand by the South Carolina defense.
Boy, good job by Kyle Kennard to get into that backfield. Watch 5. Gets in there. The play's completely disrupted, like you said. He collides with Caleb Jackson. He just loses his balance, just throws it out there trying to make a play.
The lead is still 8 in Columbia. Waiting to see who trots out there at quarterback, and it's Robbie Ashford. Welcome to the game. The ball is inside the 1. He'll line up in the shotgun after that tremendous defensive stand by South Carolina to preserve this lead. Ashford is a powerful runner. Feeds Sanders, who breaks the tackle in the end zone and gets out to the 4.
Let's go back to Kyle Kennard's effort here, and what a good job of affecting a play here. Really, really tremendous job. Just look at the flat there. 18's all alone. If he doesn't make that effort play, it's a touchdown. Just a good hustle play. Knows he can't necessarily get in there, but disrupts the timing. The quarterback and the back end up hitting each other. Nussmeier, like I said, did everything he could to get it out there to an all-alone Josh Williams, so missed opportunity.
What a game Kennard has had. Second down carry, trying to bounce the ball to the outside. Sanders gets nowhere as Savion Jones struck him out. Holly, what do we know from the sideline for the Gamecocks?
Well, I've watched Lenora Sellers do a great workout. He was doing all kinds of running on the sideline, dropping back, but that right ankle is continuing to bother him. Every time he would put pressure on it, he would grimace. He did have his helmet on, looked like he wants to run out there, but the coaches are going with a little bit healthier Robbie Ashford right now. Of course, they said they have great confidence in him.
First time in his career he's dealing with the helmet communication with the coaches. Of course, new this year. Now it's a 3rd and 7.
And it changes the entire approach for Lake Baker in this defense. They're locked in on this run game and quick pass game.
Coming after him. Ashford again has to fight to escape a safety. Ends up falling forward to the 7. Savion Jones made the stop, and this is going to be the first punt for the Gamecocks today.
And we talked about how Harold Perkins, what do you do with him? What area do you try to blitz him from off the edge? This time they bring him right here. 3rd down, there's a good chance, especially with Ashford back there. They're going to try to get him free, and he gets matched up again with Rocket Sanders and wins that battle, forces him out of the pocket.
So Kai Kroger, All-American punter, on for the first time, and standing at the 50 is Xavier Thomas, hoping to make a big play. It's a short punt. Thomas is going to have to come up and wave for a fair catch. And LSU, despite coming up empty, gets off the field on defense quickly and now sets up at the 46-yard line. Sir Big Spur made a game day appearance this morning. He's freaky. He's freaky.
ABC College Football, presented by Tums Gummy Bites, is brought to you by Ram Trucks, built to serve.
The habitat of Sir Big Spur, the fighting Gamecock mascot. Visited the truck earlier. I'm sure he's a wonderful bird, very well.
Oh, Jimmy.
So director Jimmy Platt,
holding
him. Friend.
Oh boy, no chance.
You know what?
Billy.
He set like 10 years ago. All you could do was stare at the talons on that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he could cause some damage.
I keep my distance.
What are they, like descended from
they got the
velociraptors?
Got a little AC unit there, trying to keep him cool. We can all relate to that.
So LSU in plus territory to start this drive. Juwan Johnson, the talented true freshman, is in the game, looking to make an impact play. Nussmeier rolls and dumps it down incomplete. It was a crossing round for Mason Taylor. Curious to see if they can get number 8, who was a safety, until they switched him to running back this week. Looking for answers at that position. He was a great high school quarterback, but as the season unfolds, I think you'll see 8 involved.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, I think they're waiting to find that guy that can become featured a little bit more than the others. We saw Durham in the first half. Josh Williams will always have a role. Durham back in the game now.
And Durham's got the football, and he's got the edge. Hayden Durham scoots down to the 25. Imanwari forced him out, but he got 20 more.
Man coverage, and then they lose the edge. Watch Fortune right here. Running back goes this way. When you're a man coverage, Fortune follows him. There's no one left. Either a linebacker's got to scrape to prevent that from happening. Safety's got to get downhill. There was just nobody there. So it's good blocking, but in man coverage, they took the corner away and got out the back door by this LSU running game.
Nussmeier pulls it, delivers to Taylor in the flat. Taylor Goes between tacklers and dives down for a 1st and goal. Got nice blocks on the edge there from receivers Daniels and Sampson.
So they start to run the football. Still, look at the eyes. Look at the communication. Starting to make sure everybody's on the same page. Ball snapped. Now all of a sudden, how are they going to react to that? Their eyes they're looking at each other, trying to communicate. So the run game opens up other aspects of this offense, and that's the LSU offense, again, that they want to see. Enough of the run game, take some of the heat off of this passing game, and Nussmeier, then you can mix up your looks and try to confuse the defense. Great blocks, like you said, downfield.
Wholesale changes. About 6 or 7 new Gamecock defenders ran on there. They couldn't punch it in from the 2 a minute ago. Now it's 1st and goal from the 9. Nussmeier under pressure delivers a throw to the end zone. He did not see Edmond coming off the blind side.
Edmonds had a day. LSU typically takes care of the quarterback. Will Campbell's one of the best, the left tackle right here. Watch this. I don't know if he was confused at the snap. He kind of olays him. Just nothing there at all. And it's not as if Nussmeier's rolling out or a half roll. He's in the pocket. Just used his speed and went around Will Campbell.
2nd and goal. Handoff. Breaking tackles, fighting, and scoring. Caden Durham. 2nd touchdown today as the true freshman from Oklahoma. The answer for LSU's running game today.
You know, I really think that Joe Sloan watched the previous play and decided to let's go back to a run this time and get underneath that outside pressure. What an effort here. 2nd, 3rd effort. Remember Shane Beamer telling Holly we got to tackle better? He's right at the goal line.
The progressive pylon cam just to confirm that the ball did break the plane. What an effort. Ball was touchdown. Did they see anything that would reverse it? Maybe pausing so the replay center can confer with Mitchell Watkins before they go for 2.
They're good. They green lighted it.
Time to go for Dos. Kirk, brought to you by Dos Equis. This to tie the game. They once trailed 17-0 in 24-10. Nussmeier, he'll be swallowed up and dropped. The pass rush got him big. Tonka Hemingway, who brings speed and power from the interior line.
Remember the previous play before the touchdown? Gilbert Edmond came outside on the pass rush. They came back the very next play and said, okay, if he's going to go wide like that, let's double team inside and let's get the back underneath that, run the football. It's exactly what they did. Good job of getting around the corner, fighting for every yard, got it into the end zone.
Good one at Columbia. The lead is now just 2. Second touchdown today from Caden Durham, whose mom ran track at Oklahoma. He was a speedster. Actually went to high school in Texas at Duncanville. Powerhouse, won back-to-back 6A state championships, and as a true freshman, he has made a huge impact today. All-State bus is here in Columbia. Caesar getting us fired up for the game. You didn't have a lot of games to choose from, but the All-State good hands play.
Got to be Mo Brown. What he did earlier in this game was went from a walk-on to being put on scholarship on Tuesday, and today one of the best efforts I've ever seen on trying to come up with a block punt when South Carolina, look at that, upside down, makes a heck of a play, gives him a chance to get more points on the board, keep that momentum. But it's a different story now, man. 2-point game. LSU very easily could have the lead. They had a bad snap on an extra point, missed a 2-point conversion. They were stopped on a goal line stand.
Big cheer because Lenora Sellers is back in at quarterback, dealing with that ankle that he was sacked and injured late in the first half. They handed off to Sanders for no gain.
I just watched him even just handing that ball off. I mean, a big threat and a big part of his game is being an imposing threat as a runner. And I admire that he's out there. He's going to try to tough it out. South Carolina does not want to get into 4-corner mode. Just trying to get out of here, playing not to lose, just holding on. Because LSU, that's what they want. How do you continue to be aggressive with a quarterback limping?
No, Sanders is going to be dropped for a loss, swarmed by Parrish Shand off the edge. As a passer, if he could stand and deliver, he'd still be an effective weapon.
And when he's healthy, you think you see this chasing the back? You think, did we see this in the first half? Not even thinking about not even thinking about Sellers. First half, he pulls that and runs for 15. They're not even concerned. He's back there on one leg.
3rd and 15, ball out quickly, bobbled and caught. And that's the speech that we talked about Harbor, but far short, and a quick 3 and out.
You know, it's not the fault of anybody at South Carolina. You got a quarterback that's ailing. You know, his game is running, his game is quick game, his game is creating, and you take a lot of that away from him now. So LSU's just thinking again. They're thinking about how do we stop this run game and how do we stop his short, quick pass game. But he's not a threat to run anymore.
They didn't punt in the first half. Now back-to-back 3 and outs, trying to deal with this quarterback situation. Kroger, the lefty, boots it away. Thomas, no fair catch, and is knocked backwards. Now look out. Tries to turn and make something happen. A flag comes in very, very late. You just hold your breath when number 0 has the football in his hands as a returner.
I was with you, like, what in the world is this guy thinking? And then say, oh, yeah, and of course.
He got knocked backwards immediately about 5-6 yards and then turned and threatened to make something out of it.
During the return, personal foul, illegal blindside block, return team number 13. The penalty is 15 yards from the spot of the foul. It'll be first down LSU.
13's the quarterback, Garrett Nussmeier, who's
I don't think not Garrett out there 13. Throwing a blindside block.
No, I think it was. It looked like number 30 to me.
The call seems correct. The player ID has been adventurous today. Bottom line is that unforced error, that mistake backs up LSU to the 20, but they've got the football and they got big momentum. It's Josh Williams in the backfield. They fake it to him. Nussmeier rolls back and throws it underneath, and it's Mason Taylor who was open and uses his athletic ability to dive for a first down across the 35. They got 16.
Yeah, nice delay. Love the play action call on 1st and 10. Taylor does a good job of selling it as if he's staying in to contribute and help block. Just waits patiently. By then the linebackers are cleared out. Beautiful call. Nice job of executing.
Nussmeier, sideline route, incomplete. Good miscommunication with Shelton Sampson, one of the inexperienced members of the corps. What a contrast here. You've got Nussmeier, although not experienced, is mature, veteran. He's been around, knows the offense inside out. On the other side, South Carolina wondering, can Lenore Sellers go? And if he can't, what can we do with Robbie Ashford? So, as you said, 4 quarters, that's North. That's South Carolina, but I get your point. They're just trying to somehow preserve the lead. It's up to the defense at the moment.
7 guys up, walked up tight. He brings Mason Taylor back in to maybe help him out here and brings the back up, maybe in half out and pass pro.
Pass going to the sidelines. Lacey makes the catch in front of Fortune.
South Carolina showed blitz with those 7, and then once he brought the tight end in the back end, he loses the ability to get them out in the pass game, and they end up dropping out. So nice little cat and mouse game that time with Clayton White against Nussmeier.
Brown trying to help this Gamecock defense, which is very eager to get off the field here. 3rd and 7.
Walked up there again.
Here comes the pressure. Dart across the middle, and the catch is made by Aaron Anderson. And the quick little slot receiver becoming a serious weapon.
They had 7 walked up, and then they end up bringing a safety down. And this is the risk you take, because if you can get that ball out, there's nobody in the middle of that field. So he felt that safety pressure, knew that he had that slant there to the inside, continues to have success against the middle of this South Carolina defense.
Anderson committed to LSU, flipped to Alabama, and then transferred back. Nussmeier looking to launch, now just checks it down. And slipping a tackle as Josh Williams finally wrestled down at the 40 by Imanwori.
Ooh, I see what he was looking at there. He had a shot downfield. He's just maybe has the slight hesitation. Right here, watch how the defense reacts to this, and watch how when he's ready to throw the football, right, if he throws it right here and he's ready to go, I think that maybe the safety in the middle of the field might have spooked him and brought him off of that throw.
Nussmeier on 2nd and 4, again looks downfield and loops the throw to Lacey. It's incomplete. A flag comes out. He was defended by Imanwori. Pass interference is going to set LSU up.
Imanwori was completely up closer to the line of scrimmage and goes back to try to catch up on the play. And I think he got him with his left hand. So he'll come from your right. Head is turned. It's definitely on the left hand, grabbing onto the shoulder pad. Yeah, there it is right there.
If Bill Lamagnier were here, he said you can get away with a little grab, but if you turn the receiver like that, it's going to draw the foul.
Yeah, that and his head not being turned around to locate the football.
So they'll spot the ball inside the 25. And Shane Beamer's team trying to dig in here. All of a sudden, this emotion, this energy has been punctured. Concern over the health of the quarterback. And just trying to cling to a lead. Play fake. Nussmeier again underneath and caught for a loss of yardage there as Taylor tracked down in the backfield by Bam Scott.
Pretty good coverage there by Bam Scott. They went to that man-to-man look. Nobody was open for Garrett Nussmeier, so he opted to try to get it to the outside to Taylor, but right there was Bam Scott, stride for stride with Taylor. Middle of the field, by the way. He's 6 of 6 for 93 yards.
You figured they could use Taylor effectively, find some seams in this Gamecock defense. Breaking tackles is Durham, and the true freshman bursting on the scene in a big way, sets them up 1st and goal. We got 15 more.
Yeah, they found a running back today. Counter play, pulling the backside this way. Good job by the young freshman getting underneath. You see those linebackers shooting down, darting, penetrating into that offensive line. But a good little jump cut avoids that penetration. This kid runs tough.
He's
low
feeling
center
it,
of gravity.
They were thinking about subbing out. He just waved the sideline up.
Yeah.
I'm staying in.
Growing up today.
First and goal, approaching the final minute of the quarter. Durham again, showing strength. Young fella, fast, strong, determined. He went through the tackle of Tonka Hemingway.
Yeah, that was Hemingway, who's about 290 pounds, had him wrapped up, but that leg drive, no wonder he's waving him off. He's feeling it, we're feeling it, LSU fans watching him are feeling it. We've been waiting a long time for an LSU back to emerge. It was all Jaden Daniels running last year. I said you got to go back to Darius Geis. Even before that, I mean, Clyde Edwards-Helaire in 19 was great, but that was more of a reflection of the entire offense. Geis, Leonard Fournette, but they need it back, and right now, Durham is stepping up.
Beat it to him again. Durham looking for the hat trick. Pounds down inside the 2. Maybe the final play of this third quarter. Third quarter dominated by LSU with serious concerns over Honora Sellers' ankle. 15 minutes to play. South Carolina clinging to a 2-point lead. Back after this message and a word for your local ABC stations. You're watching the SEC on ABC. Final quarter in Columbia as the Gamecocks trying to hold on to a 2-point lead and pull off an upset. LSU has shown a lot of poise and determination and grit, coming from 17-0 down on the road and now trying to take their first lead. Josh Williams is the back. Nussmeier fakes it to him, scans the end zone, and throws to a wide open Mason Taylor for a touchdown. And LSU on top for the first time.
Well, they do a pretty good job here. Remember, they got stuffed on 3 runs down close to the goal line before on that goal line stand. This time, they're going to do a good job of protecting the quarterback. And you've got the tight end coming underneath on that drag. Nobody picks him up. Easy read, easy throw. He even had a receiver behind him, and C.J. Daniels, the defense, completely out of position there. So LSU this time able to capitalize inside that 5-yard line.
Ramos on for the conversion. Not just a touchdown reception that gives LSU the lead, but he breaks the LSU record for most career receptions by a tight end, his 91st. LSU playing with the lead now, up 5 early 4th. Inside the Cockaboo, something these folks never laid eyes on in person. The National Championship Trophy presented by Dr. Pepper. Championship game January 20th in Atlanta after the semis in the Orange Bowl and the Cotton Bowl. Taco Bell Live Más student section. This is a devoted and loud student section, and they'll compete with sections across the country for the Taco Bell Live Más student section of the year. Download the Taco Bell app to learn more. Merrill's kickoff will bounce through the end zone. So we talked about Harold Perkins. How could he make an impact today?
Yeah, and that's a big story for LSU. They've been blitzing him a lot. You knew that coming in. The thing is, when he's not gotten there, that time he got a fumble recovery after the sack by Sage Ryan. See how just that people are paying attention to him, it frees up others to make plays. Savion Jones and this time Perkins coming from the same side. And see how that the offensive line breaks down. The protection is concerned. They're always identifying where 7 is. So great thing about having him in there as a threat. Look at those numbers. I mean, the dropbacks, you can see when he's rushed, the pressures, the takeaways. So it's not always him, but when they turn him loose, good things happen.
South Carolina now would love to be able to get the running game going. And Sanders with a nice first down game. Holly?
Well, you see the productivity of Harold Perkins. Blake Baker told us that they actually had a meeting on Monday, and he wanted to check in with the young man. He hadn't played up to his capability, and they want to make sure he's in the best possible spot. They said, where do you feel most comfortable? He said at that star position, the strong side linebacker. He said he had a great week of practice.
And Ashford scrambles out, is brought down by Whit Weeks. It's a consideration, though. What is the best place to help your defense in college? How can you showcase your skills for the NFL, where you would project more as a middle linebacker?
Yeah, the off-ball linebackers, a lot of people believe he'll be, but his greatest skill set to me is he just naturally knows how to get after the quarterback. There's a little bit of a discussion there, adjusting the spot, moving it back. He is short by about a half yard of that first down. But
Gamecocks didn't have a first down, just had 2 possessions in the third quarter, gained a total of 1 yard. It was Ashford in for a series, then Sellers, and now it's Ashford back, and they'll try to get it by giving it to Rocket Sanders, and there goes Rocket. Sanders launching. Gamecocks reclaim the lead. 66 yards.
well, when your quarterback is down with an injury, your options are limited on how you can attack. Becomes fairly predictable, but it still comes down to getting big number 5, the football, whether it's screens or runs or whatever it is. Get the ball in his hands and let him do some work, and it pays off this time.
Wow, this game has seen way more explosive plays than I think we expected. South Carolina trailing for just a few seconds, and now we'll go for 2, or go for Dose, if you will, brought to you by Dos Equis, to make it a 3-point game. Oscar Attaway spelling Sanders in the backfield. Ashford trying to escape here and make something happen. Heaves it into the end zone, and they do convert the 2-pointer. There's a flag down, so wait and see. That play took a long time to develop. You just wonder if the lineman got downfield.
I think there are a couple. What a play. I think there are a couple offensive linemen downfield.
Ineligible receiver downfield, offense number 53. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat the try.
That reaction shared by some other fans. They're still going to go for 2. They'll just back him up. Good job by Ashford, who did buy some time, showed great poise, and then found a man open.
Yep.
So we'll try this ball from the 8-yard line. Ashford from the pocket, scrambling, on the move, tosses a wobbly pass into the end zone, and it's intercepted there by Deshaun Spears, so the lead stays at 1. But what a run by Sanders.
Yeah, what a run. And you know, your options are fairly limited. Joshua Simon goes into motion here. The AT&T clicker from the left to the right. He brings a defender with him. That defender is Weeks. And when Weeks comes down, there's nobody to the edge of the defense. Nobody kept the edge. Good block there by the receiver, Larvidon. But it wasn't necessarily a fancy play. A bust by LSU not keeping the edge of the defense, but we saw LSU have some success running like this where they moved the player and the defense from South Carolina lost their edge. Well, this time it's vice versa. And the big man, all that work he put in, dropped the body weight, not just a power back, shows you he's got the speed to take it all the way to the house.
Featured him, all the hard work, multiple surgeries in Fayetteville before arriving in Columbia. And that's the second long touchdown run for the Gamecocks that's been untouched. I mean, Sanders, 66 that time. Sellers went to the house, 75, right up the middle, untouched.
Yeah, we got a player down. Looks like Braden Swinson. He was chasing a quarterback, went down after the play.
Walking slowly across to the Tiger sideline now.
The heat and humidity here in a mid-afternoon game in Columbia.
Man, this sets up as a frantic finish because it's been pretty frantic from the second quarter on here.
Again, we're up here thinking, we're talking at breaks, like what can South Carolina do? You talked about they had 2 possessions in the third quarter, both 3 and outs. Their quarterback, who's been making the plays in the first half, he's out of the game, and even when he's in there, he's playing on one leg, and it just puts him in a really tough spot. I think LSU's defense, and Sanders a great back, they kind of helped him out there by losing the edge of the defense and getting him where he could get out. There's no one left. Once they motioned Simon.
So Nussmeier there, kind of a little smile on his face. He's not going to panic.
It's his turn.
They've been behind by 17. They're only down 1, and LSU gets football back, and their offense has been in pretty good rhythm.
Sanders now has 136 yards after that big carry, averaging about 8.5 a carry. 228 as a team.
Yeah, this is a team that ran for 1,021 yards last year. That's it for the Gamecocks. So you can understand why Sanders felt like this is a good spot for him. You know, stay in the SEC and go where you can make an instant impact. NIL didn't hurt, but he's definitely found a home here. Thomas picks his way, and Xavier Thomas with a flag out again. Spun down. This is going to be on the return team and back up the Tigers.
During the return, holding return team number 8. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Big first down LSU.
Coming up next, we'll kick it down to the swamp. See if Graham Mertz can get that Gator offense going. He sat out last week with a concussion. The Aggies are in the swamp today.
Talk about a must-win for both these teams, for their goals and where they're trying to go. A lot of talk about Billy Napier coming into the year, kind of on the hot seat. You look at the schedule, what's ahead of them. Already lost to Miami. I'm going to say must-win, but with their schedule, they could use a win today.
Tigers back to work. Nussmeier buying time and flips it short, bobbled but caught by Aaron Anderson. Some might say LSU with that loss that you and Reese called a Vegas must win.
Yeah, and what's frustrating about that is they played well enough to win the game. That's why Brian Kelly pounded the table after the game. This is exactly what he's talking about. These are the moments he said, I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of us not finding ways to win games. Well, here we are again. It's a fourth quarter game. It's a one-point game. And can LSU find a way to win one of these kind of games?
It's what their fans are certainly asking on second down. Stewart hit in the backfield and brought down. Kyle Kennard has been a game wrecker for the Gamecocks.
Big key in this game was how would the defensive ends that have so much promise, one the transfer right here, Kennard from Georgia Tech, the other the freshman, against these big tackles. And this time, he shows you what he can do again. With Campbell just going down, I just can't imagine that's the right step, stepping down and turning your back on 5 and letting him just collapse on that running play, but he does.
You face a first-round draft prospect at tackle, you can make a huge name for yourself, and Kyle Kennard is putting some tape together today. 3rd and long, Nussmeier, sideline route, and the fingertip catch is made by Kyron Lacey. He's got such length and hand strength. That's a nice grab.
What a throw, and he throws this. I'm going to stop it where he is about to throw this football, and look where the receiver is. A defender's out here, and that ball is thrown out there. I mean, that is really having confidence and trust in your own ability and Kyron Lacey's ability to run the right depth of a route on 3rd down with the game on the line.
Fumbled snap. South Carolina comes up with it. Nussmeier couldn't collect the snap, and Dylan Stewart, the true freshman, makes the recovery, and Shane Beamer thanking the crowd for playing a role.
That's you. That's on you. Pointing to the crowd as if they made that change. Garrett Nussmeier, you can see he's arguing. He definitely was not anticipating the football being snapped. He was looking out to his right. Not sure what his case is.
He didn't win it.
Now, watch Garrett. Watch his eyes. Looks off to his right. Tries to get to motion. The ball snapped, hits him in the chest. I mean, once that ball snapped, it's live. I don't know what would make him think that he has something to argue about, unless he's assuming that South Carolina forced the center into maybe thinking that should have snapped the ball with a go, like a help, go, you know, whatever it might have been.
Showing some bounce. You could practice with the speakers. You could try to get ready for it. There is just nothing like this kind of an environment. Even a pretty poised, calm quarterback. A crucial mistake between Nussmeier and the center that time, Chester. And the Gamecocks with the football set up with a 1-point lead, and that's Perkins in the backfield making a tackle.
They keep bringing him from that star position that Holly talked about, how he prefers, because they can move him around and get him into the backfield, turn him loose. He and Savion Jones on the same side together have had a great afternoon. When they blitz 7, it seems to free up 35, get some one-on-one matchups where he can overpower those linemen.
Behind the sticks on 2nd down. Ashford around the left side. Interesting to have Nick Saban in the meetings. It's such a treat to have him talking to Brian Kelly, talking about, you know, what do you do with Perkins? And from an opponent's perspective, how many times have we heard we're thrilled when he's back in coverage, he's in space and not getting after the quarterback? You're doing us a favor.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, and again, no one's in the meetings with Brian Kelly. You know, all of us on the outside, we just see his playmaking ability. And Brian Kelly, he and his staff, they have an idea of, they're around these guys all the time, but I do think it's been fun to watch him today and how they've been able to move him around and do different things. He's been all over the field.
They're crowding the line here on 3rd and 10. Ashford heaves the ball up his back foot, and it's way over the head of Harbor. So pressure that time from Major Burns, and here comes the field goal team.
Their passing game is pretty much out of business, you know, with Robbie Ashford in. I mean, it's either a quick pass or it's a shot downfield. It's quarterback run. It's run game with Rocket Sanders. And that's why they were so fortunate to have that big play. Major Burns putting that pressure instead of Harold Perkins. They went the other way with 8. But because they inherited this football in such good field position, they at least have a shot at 3 more points.
Herrera made a chip shot earlier. This from 42 to make it a 4-point lead. And he drives it right through. So the turnover set him up. 3 and out after that, but now it's a 4-point game.
ABC College Football is presented by Tums Gummy Bites. Get fast relief of occasional heartburn. Use as directed.
Herrera field goal makes it a 4-point game. Allstate is going to celebrate every field goal and PAT by making a donation to the university's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you, Allstates. So Holly reporting from the sideline, doing a great job as always. That the offensive line for LSU thought they heard a clap. Chester snapped the ball. What they heard was a lot of folks here making it tough. But
what a scene, man.
Now, Nussmeier, who was just livid at the officials for not picking up what he thought was a penalty in the defense, has to once again regain composure, which he's pretty good at. This week's college football rankings brought to you by Goodyear. Georgia at Kentucky in prime time tonight on ABC. Mark Soup's hoping for a quantum leap forward.
Missouri battling with Boston College. We thought Billy O'Brien might have Thomas Castellanos, their quarterback, a chance to keep him in it, and they have. Wisconsin struggling against Alabama, and from what I've heard from people, the Alabama's speed, big advantage against Wisconsin.
Your sources, little edge and the speed.
Yeah, well, just
there.
It played itself out.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's their last tune-up, if you want to call a road win in Madison a tune-up, before the Dogs come calling the T-Town. Pressure again. Tipped at the line of scrimmage, incomplete.
Everybody knows, you think of Shane Beamer, everybody talks about Beamer ball because of what his dad created in Blacksburg at Lane Stadium, and we've seen that carry on for Shane here in Columbia. Block punt, turnovers, just playing complimentary football, playing smart football. I mean, if they're going to, there's Coach Beamer, his dad, watching on. They're up 4 with 10:30 to go in this game. You wonder if it's going to be more Beamer ball to try to hold on to a victory, or if LSU is going to find a way to win a tough one on the road.
We got the big playmaking freshman running back Durham in the slot. Nussmeier's rolling the other way, looks sideline, and Lacey makes the catch and spins for about 9.
Pretty good job there by Nussmeier on that pressure to keep it alive, feeling it, getting outside, break and contain, and then Kyron Lacey does an outstanding job to work back to the football on that route where he's going downfield. Puts him at 3rd and 1 instead of throwing it away and being at 3rd and 8 or 9.
Nussmeier, pretty efficient day. 23 of 34, thrown for 256 and 2, sacked a couple of times, hadn't been sacked coming into this game. So a lot more pressure that he's used to dealing with.
Durham back in there on 3rd and short.
We feed the freshman, but he runs right into heavy traffic. Tries to power forward, doesn't get there. So this time that veteran physical Gamecock front makes a stop. And let's see what Kelly does.
DeAndre Jules, 99. Look at the two working to the inside. Look at that push. Just really good job. Allowed Kennard to help around the edge. Still Stewart to help around the edge. But at the point of attack, you know it's coming. Mano a mano. Who's going to win that battle? And it's South Carolina's defensive line.
You know, Kelly didn't want to do it. He thought about going for it probably, but he sends out the punter. Peyton Todd's last effort, of course, was blocked.
You got to play field position with South Carolina right now with where they're playing offense. It's a no-brainer.
It's a pretty good punt, and it drives and go back to the 25. So 8:56 to go. Gamecocks up 4 with the football. Approaching kickoff in the Swamp. We'll get there after this one's over. And quarterback is the concern for A&M. Will it be Marcel Reed going? Connor Wegman, a throwing shoulder injury. Not sure if he can go today.
Yeah, it's game time decision. We'll have to wait and see. I know Marcel Reed very well. He played with my kids in high school in Nashville at Montgomery Bell Academy. Played in the bowl game last year. But they go to him. His playmaking ability, very elusive, can throw the football. He's dangerous. So it'll be interesting to see who goes today.
So the Gamecocks sitting in that 4-point lead. Common sense would say, let's not lose it on offense. Let's be safe. The defense has got its footing back now.
Get it into the hands of Robert Sanders or Raheem Sanders. You know, just be smart, but not too predictable.
Here's the handoff. Sanders inside. You know LSU is going to be looking for number 5. Stamps gets him down.
And if I'm LSU, you're going to have a couple extra hats on Sanders, a couple extra hats on the potential of Robbie Ashford pulling it and keeping it Those are your two concerns right now. And if they beat you anywhere else, you tip your cap. But don't let 1 or 5 run the ball on you.
Ashford on the edge, heaves it downfield into traffic, and the catch is made. Dale Von Campbell went up and won the battle. There is a flag down, however, and this might be coming back.
Oh, you got two people. You got Ashford clapping, you got LSU clapping.
Offense number 3. The penalty is half the distance to the previous spot. Repeat second down.
You called Bennett, who was not the man who caught the football.
Now, he was the guy that was in motion, and he went downfield, but when the ball was in the air, he was blocking an LSU defender, Major Burns. I just said, hey, make them have to beat you in another way. And that's what they're trying to do here. And the kid made a heck of a throw. Ashford threw that ball well. It'll come back because of the penalty.
That was a tremendous catch by Campbell. I mean, he won that battle, and Zaire Alexander was down there in coverage for LSU, was still on the field being looked at by the elect training staff. It won't count, but that's what you want a receiver to do. Win those battles.
Well, yeah, you got to win those one-on-one battles, and Ashford's got to make the throw. I mean, kind of somewhat of a simplified. They said 3 in motion right here. You watch his route against Burns. Receiver at the top ends up making the catch. I don't know if it was that or if it was 8, the one that we showed you on the initial replay.
If they called that on Bennett,
they said 3.
A little bump in the secondary, that does not typically constitute offensive pass interference. We're going to build Lamagna in the box center screen. I don't know. We'll give you another look at this. This is an enormous call.
We've had a dickens of a time locating the numbers here on these penalties.
Dickens of a time. I mean, that is a huge call. Nullifies a play that would have set them up deep in LSU territory. Now they're backed up. 2nd and a mile. Safe throw in the flat. Sanders cutting back. Rocket looking for a block. Gets one. Tremendous effort. Rocket Sanders still going. I mean, it didn't result in a first down as they knock him out of bounds, and Gamecock bench wants a flag. Ashford ended up throwing a block after he threw the pass, and they ended up.
I don't blame the South Carolina fans for wanting the extra flag here after. What an effort by Rocket Sanders to keep this play alive. I don't know how many. What did he break? 5, 6 tackles there. He didn't pick up a first down, but he gets them back in a position to at least get more on schedule.
It was 19 yards after the catch because he caught the ball behind the line. Ends up setting up a 3rd and 11.
Boy, LSU struggling in their tackling area today.
Pressure comes. Ashford lost the football. Scooped up by LSU, and it sets up the Tigers at the 11. Major Burns got the recovery. There's another flag down, so we'll wait for that. But the kind of disastrous play that you had to avoid as a Gamecock offense in this situation.
Offense, the penalty is declined. Result was a first down for LSU.
Well, Chris, this is the turnover that LSU needed. They show pressure from Harold Perkins here, but he ends up dropping, and the pressure comes from this side instead. Braden Swanson gets around, a little stunt, gets off the block. Great job of taking away any options that Ashford might have. And this is why we said for South Carolina, they're limited in what they can do as a play caller. It's either a quick pass downfield. You don't want him sitting in the pocket holding on to the football. That's not his strength. That's what they do. And they're able to rip it out and give themselves great field position.
Man, sacks, plays in the pocket have completely turned this around. It's the 3rd turnover today by the South Carolina quarterbacks, and a tall order for this defense now, trying to keep LSU out of the end zone and protect this 4-point lead. Lacey comes across in motion. Nussmeier looking to the end zone. Looping ball incomplete. trying to get the ball up and over Collier. Shelton Sampson was there.
Chris, just for people at home, that ball came out, but his arm was coming forward just to make sure the ball was out. Ball is out, hand comes forward, so that is a fumble. But if you're a South Carolina fan, you're going back to that pass interference call thinking, you're still scratching your head saying, what in the heck? Was it on 3? Was it on 8? Who was it on? And was it really offensive pass interference?
I had a feeling that was going to be a crucial play. 2nd and 10.
Movement on the right side.
Remember, they've already played a part, this crowd, in disrupting the LSU offense, getting Chester to snap the ball up the chest. Nussmeier, but he wasn't ready, and playing an impact here. An enormous couple of plays here coming up.
Yeah, 7 minutes to go, down 4. Been given a gift here inside the 20. I just keep going back to Brian Kelly's frustration after playing well enough to win in that neutral site game in Las Vegas against USC. His frustration after that game, just because, hey, we didn't make plays and we needed to make plays, and I'm tired of it. And here we are again with a great opportunity to try to get out of here with a win.
2nd and 15. Durham plows forward, gets back near the original line, excuse me, Williams' original line of scrimmage.
Who can win down here? Mason Taylor's always a threat. Obviously, Kyron Lacey. Aaron Anderson's had some opportunities, number 1. Can you protect? And can Garrett Nussmeier make a quick decision down in here where things happen fast and find an open receiver?
Nussmeier to the end zone, through a pick. Threw it right into the hands of Imanwari. The Gamecocks taking it the other way. There is a flag on the field. Will a pick 6 be nullified for the 2nd time today? Nussmeier was hit. And the flags are right. There's 3 of them on the field, right near where the pass was thrown.
It's going to be on the return.
So a post-interception foul. Somebody took a shot at the quarterback?
Yeah.
Well, it's doubtful that Nussmeier was going to get back and make the tackle. So if that is, in fact, what happened, again, a pick 6 has been wiped off the board. Jason Autry's microphone on the fritz here, but you can see the signal. It will be a Gamecock takeaway and a very tough decision by Nussmeier. But then the penalty negates a massive return by Imanwari.
Chris, let's go back and watch. Imanwari here, I think one of the few times Garrett Nussmeier gets a little bit confused. Here's the safety. He's a big playmaker. He comes down in the box when motion goes away. And with him down there, I think he completely expects he's got man-to-man coverage on the outside. I think 7 sinking surprises him. Gets right underneath. Here's the AT&T clicker to give you an idea where he came from. And then the hit came after the interception. So his eyes went down to catch the ball. He never saw 7 go from being up tight in the box to sinking. Puts it right into his hands, and right after he threw it, this is the hit that he took right here by Kyle Kennard.
Tries to say I didn't do it, but...
And again, there's so much still going on in this football game. This South Carolina offense that's having a tough time without their starter. They're back at the 10-yard line in a 4-point game with about 6 minutes to go in this game.
So the entire stadium holding its breath. Ashford this time escapes the pocket and looked like a design run. Picks up a few. It would be an 11-point game if not for the penalty. Imanwari had a pick 6 in the 4th quarter last week against Kentucky.
And they're alpha.
Should be up 11 here.
Yeah.
I mean, Kennard's done a lot of great things today. That little extra shove on the quarterback who wasn't going to chase him down and make a tackle.
No. That was just sending a message shot, unnecessary.
Both hands on the football. See Rocket Sanders protecting it as he gets forward for a short gain. It's going to make it 3rd and 2.
Yeah, if I'm Blake Baker and I got that green dot, I'm talking to my linebacker and I'm telling him, set the edge to the defense. Don't let them get outside of us. Make them have to execute inside. There's a cramp here on the LSU defender.
Swinson. Crowd immediately booing, but there's no huge advantage here for LSU in this case.
Yeah.
Slow things down.
Talk about a game that's been back and forth with some key plays. This is a missed extra point in a game that every point is necessary. LSU, the block punt with Mo Brown having a heck of an effort there. 4th down stop right here. After 3 attempts to run the ball, they try to throw it. They're stopped. A snap that goes off the chest of Nussmeier when he's not ready for it. Here he doesn't see the safety, drop him in coverage. He throws it right to him, and the only break that he catches, he gets annihilated. And so they bring it back all the way to their own 10-yard line.
You mentioned special teams. If they don't mess up the PAT, it's a 3-point, not a 4-point game. Important. Obviously, the punt was immediately converted. The punt block was immediately converted by South Carolina, so 7 more points there. And the Bayou Bengals have misfired in the red zone now a couple times in the second half.
How about 6 opportunities? 3 touchdowns.
Yep. And a couple empties.
Yeah, they may still find a way to win it, but if they don't, whatever table Brian Kelly's speaking in front of better be ready.
Can Ashford here, where Sanders make a play. LSU again does that defensive line shift, and they're pointing across at the O-line.
Oh boy.
We're going to huddle up here and see if it was the defense with the disconcerting signals or just an old-fashioned flinch.
Well, they moved. In the USC game, they got hit for it once.
Offense number 53.
It's just like this. The first time they got a penalty. The second time it went against the offense. And this time it'll go against South Carolina.
Man,
it wasn't very different from the first half when they called the delay a game on the defense.
Combined now, 19 penalties, almost 200 penalty yards. Changes the complexion of this 3rd down play. They need 7 now. Ashford, old-fashioned quarterback sweep around the right side, and not much there. Shane Beamer saying, you know what, a punt isn't the worst thing. Greg Penn, the 3rd, making the stop.
Yeah, Greg Penn and Major Burns, and they're expecting either a screen, something to Sanders, or the potential of Ashford with a quick throw, or just roll him out and run him. And they were ready for that. They get the football back, and it all goes back to that play on the interception where they hit Garrett Nussmeier and took away a touchdown, pinned them back inside deep in their own territory. They go 3 and out. LSU gets the ball right back.
The dangerous Xavier Thomas waits at his 43. Kai Kroger in his end zone and gets a left-footed boot that's not his best. It's going to bounce, and on the bounce, it's Thomas who picks it up, and that's pretty good coverage. Gamecocks tackle him immediately after a 47-yard punt. Colin Bryant made the stop. Nussmeier comes out, down by 4. Back to Kevin Agandi.
Chris Kirk in Tallahassee. Final chance for Florida State, down 8, and they're going to try and throw a prayer. DJU, it'll fall incomplete. Memphis holds on. Florida State's 0-3 for the 2nd time in 5 years under Mike Norvell. Meanwhile, our ABC viewers waiting for Florida, Texas A&M. That game will start on ESPN. You will go to the Swamp after a great finish in Columbia. Chris Kirk, back to you.
Man alive.
Things started badly in Dublin. I'm going downhill for FSU. Yeah. So this place rocking, trying to make it tough. Tigers take over at the 45. 3:46 to play. Need a touchdown to take the lead. In that bowl game, we brought him from behind in the 4th quarter to win. Aiden Durham is back in the game. And he's got the football. And runs right through a tackle and picks up 10. Donald Fortune couldn't get him down.
Well, this true freshman is a good-looking back. We're going to see more and more of him this year, this game, all the way to the finish line. Low center of gravity, balance. You know, he played in those 2 state championships at a state like Texas back-to-back years. Gives you an idea. Looks like Eamon Warren is down. Looks like he was going to try to get through it, but goes down again.
He's the guy that had the interception and the pick 6 nullified. Remind you of what we talked about. Of course, Jaden Daniels sat out the ReliaQuest Bowl game they took on Wisconsin. It was a shootout game, and he ended up throwing for 395 and 3. And this is the end of it. Lacey, sign of things to come. Now the receivers, sitting that game out. Lacey makes a play, and look at this ball. This was reassuring to the LSU fans. The teammates knew that Nussmeier could do it. Daniels obviously happy for his guy there. So he's trying for his second career fourth-quarter comeback within a 4-game span.
Whoever wins this game early in the year like this, these are the kind of games where you face adversity and you find a way to win that really springboard you into better weeks ahead. Whoever loses this game, boy, back to the drawing board, a lot to try to figure out what could have been, kind of quotes after a game like this. So someone's about to find a way to win with 3.5 to go, and someone's going to be talking about what could have been. It's a lot at stake.
First down, Nussmeier backpedaling. Still got it and flips it downfield. Lacey well covered that time by DQ Smith.
Well, I think DQ Smith, who has some pretty good length there, got around him and is able to get his hand on that football. I mean, this is a pretty big challenge for a safety to be able to take on Lacey like this, and he did. That left hand worked through the football. That was a heck of a play there. You know, he played quarterback in high school, loves football, just keeps trying to get better every single week.
Quiet leader, communicator of that secondary. Handed off inside. Durham tries to bounce it, and again, the first man doesn't get it down. Again, it's Fortune. Clean it up, and they'll set down a 3rd and 6. Eva Williams eventually making the stop.
Under 3 to go, 3 timeouts, down 4. This is 4-down territory.
Gonna try to run for it again. It's Josh Williams this time. He doesn't get it, but that's a call that indicates they had 2 plays to try to get those 6 yards.
Absolutely. Still have, you can see the 2-minute timeout. You have the 3 timeouts, 2:20. They called that play to give them a better chance here on 4th and short. They're going to go fast here.
Still need 3 yards. And the Gamecocks get a stop.
Oh, free play.
Nussmeier pitches it downfield. Gamecocks are going to give him a first down on the penalty, but Lacey fights back, and they can decline it because he's got the football at the 10. Line catch is good.
I want to see if it's good. They're definitely going to take a look at this. He gets pushed out of bounds. He was out of bounds for a while.
The hat is on the field, so was he forced out or did he step out?
Offside. Defense number 5.
That part we know is for sure.
So the catch will count.
I thought his left knee might have been touching out of bounds when he caught it. That's a good job with a hard clap. Gets him Kennard off sides. Now he's got the free play, so he just takes a shot. But what I think we're going to take a really close look is he out of bounds? I mean, his left knee is out of bounds. Yeah. That one's going to come back.
Yeah, the knee is down as he catches the ball out of bounds.
Yeah. But they will get the 5-yard penalty and a first down.
Great effort by Lacey. That one should come back. They've shown the replay, and the crowd is a little frustrated.
Kennard's had a great day, but here in this 4th quarter, he's had 2 tough plays.
Yeah,
The block on Nussmeier that prevented the pick six, and now here on a 4th and short, jumping off sides.
Yeah, he's a very mature guy, you know, graduate, leader of that defense. His mental mistakes. Yeah, it's clearly no catch.
This ball should come back to about the 33-yard line, 34, 33-yard line for the 5-yard penalty, and it will be a new set of downs. You know, with all this going on, just kind of keep resetting the 3 timeouts, the 2-minute timeout. All those are still in play here. But the ball should come back to the 33.
It's been a wild ride to get here, and now who can keep their poise, who can avoid the mistake, and who can make the play in the final 2 minutes and 3 seconds. LSU's game with the Trojans, Vegas, came down to moments like this. Just most of the time it's avoiding a mistake, as much as making a play in these situations.
I think BK probably went with sunscreen today. It's a hot day.
So you got to get the ball in the end zone. You have it first down at the 33.
After review, it's an incomplete pass. The receiver's knee was out of bounds when he gained possession. However, the 5-yard offside penalty will be enforced. It results in a first down for LSU at the 33-yard line.
So time is no issue. They won one more play, then look at the 2-minute timeout. They've got all 3 to work with. So what do you like if you're Joe Sloan calling the plays and Nussmeier engineering things?
I think it's continuing to work the middle of the field. I'll tell you, Caden Durham, continuing to use him. Running the ball out of the backfield.
Confused. They
should be at the 33.
Yeah, they initially were marching back near midfield. Now they're fixing it.
Yeah, they were at the 38 when the ball was snapped. So we got to move it down to the 33.
Get him going there, Kurt.
Just trying
to help up here.
First guessing up here, never second guessing. Get Billy back here, will you?
Durham, breakout tailback to the right of Nussmeier. They fake it to him. Nussmeier sets up, loops it downfield. It's Lacey who makes a catch and sets him up first and goal. Kyron Lacey.
What a throw with the pressure on the line.
Are they saying he didn't have full control before he went out? Looked like he certainly grabbed it.
Well, it's really about completing the process of the catch. He got 2 feet, maybe 3 feet down, but he didn't complete the process of the catch. Dagger concept. He's coming from the right over to the left. Look at his length. Does a good job climbing, holds it. Now he has it with one hand and the ball came out. After he came down, one hand loses the football. That's why you keep it in 2 hands.
Kevin Nagani in studio. Viewers looking for Florida, Texas A&M. That game underway over on ESPN. You will go to the Swamp after LSU, South Carolina. Critical review going on right now. Back to Chris and Kirk.
Crucial review here. Thanks, Kevin. Mitchell Watkins, replay official, in consultation with the video center. And, of course, we'll bring in Bill Lamagne. So Lacey makes the catch there. 1-2. Gets 2 feet down. The shot's delivered by DQ Smith. He goes to the ground, and as he goes to the ground, the ball makes contact and comes loose. Bill, explain what the key issue is for these replay officials.
Well, they want to see the process of the catch. Does he make a football move? Has he had it long enough? From the views we're seeing, and you guys know all about incomplete pass.
Bill, the football move.
Plenty of steps and possession for a catch.
After video review, the ruling is a completed catch at the 4-yard line. The receiver had possession of the ball with 2 feet on the ground prior to contact by the defense. It's first and goal LSU.
Hey, Bill, real quick. Making a football move I don't know if what a football fan's supposed to think of that. One crew to the next, it could be different.
Definitely different NFL to college.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a 4-yard first and goal at the 4 now for LSU, trying to punch it in and take the lead.
I see him turning upfield as he tries to go, as he's being hit and going out of bounds. He's turning upfield.
And they concur.
Now you're not necessarily in a hurry, right? If you're South Carolina, or if you're LSU with South Carolina with the 3 timeouts.
Two tight ends. Durham is the back. Nussmeier on the run. Scans to the end zone, throws it into heavy traffic, and it's incomplete. Smith broke it up, tried to find the tight end Pimpton. A very dangerous play by Nussmeier.
Again, he's a quarterback with a lot of confidence, but this is a scary throw, throwing it back into coverage as he rolls right. Ball's got to come out right now, right here. Instead, he waits, and then throws it back into the teeth of that defense. Did he ever catch a break there for that ball not being picked off by DQ Smith?
Second and goal. Williams is the back. Hand it to him. He is hit at the line of scrimmage, fights forward. Another flag down on the far side of the field, line of scrimmage. I think the Gamecocks might have been lined up offside. Well, I think he's used it so much the batteries have run out on Jason Autry's microphone, but the offside signal is clear, so that'll be half the distance. Boy, there's a lot happened here. A lot has happened here, and maybe it's a lot still to happen. So second down, ball right at the 2. Finish. It's been the frustration for Brian Kelly. Can his team finish?
Remember, they've had some struggles down in this side the 5-yard line trying to run the ball. Minute 30, both sides with all 3 timeouts.
Play clock at 5. He's got to hurry here. Brian Kelly sees that, and they spend a timeout. The Gamecock student section came running down from the upper deck down the ramp. They're ready to rush the field here, but
got a long way to go. We got about a rush in the field.
Got a feeling that there's a few plot twists to happen here before they try to jump over the hedge and celebrate a big win.
This minute 22. I mean, like I said earlier, think about all the adversity that both teams had faced, man. I mean, it's to be in position to have a chance to win it, despite that, it's every lesson that you try to teach your team in the offseason. Like I said, one's going to get out of here, learn and will grow, and another one's going to get out of here just frustrated by mistakes that cost him a game.
LSU has lost in this place. Last loss in '94, and that was in Baton Rouge. 1930, before this place was built. South Carolina got a home win over LSU. That's the only time it's happened. Only 2 wins in series history. Yeah, it's been one of those wild, sloppy, gritty games. Both teams have made some tremendous plays. They've made some huge mistakes. Now it comes down to this. LSU 2 yards away from taking the lead against a team that doesn't have its starting quarterback.
Remember, running the football into the teeth of the defense has not worked out so far down here for LSU.
Williams in the backfield. Nussmeier on the move again. Throws to the end zone. Back corner incomplete. Off the hands of C.J. Daniels. It's 3rd and goal.
Man coverage. Good job of trying to work him back into the corner. They used Kyron Lacey that time as a decoy. He was there, open, just missed him. 3rd and goal.
So now you got 2 plays to get the 2 yards. Williams into the end zone, and LSU this time does reach pay dirt, and they take the lead with 1:12 to play. So Josh Williams, part of that rotation. He's seen the talented freshman Durham get in the end zone a couple of times. Now he joins the party, and the PAT would make this a 3-point game. They had a comeback last year at Auburn down 17, but it is not very common in this conference to battle from behind on the road and come out on top.
Well, LSU has not been able to run the football a lot inside this area. They go two tights to the right, and then they're going to motion the receiver. When they're done motioning the receiver, look how many defenders are on that side of the ball over here, right? You're going to hand the ball off. You're going to work back to the backside. So a good job of using the formation to get the defenders out of position. And there aren't a whole lot of bodies on that backside to have to worry about. You go behind Will Campbell, kick out block there on Edmond. And you're able to run effectively there inside a 5-yard line, inside the 5 for that touchdown.
Yeah, you want your All-American left tackle, future first-round pick, to make the block and the edge, and he takes care of it.
Up 3 now because of all the things that have happened. Think about this. In the second half, the play selection without the healthy Sellers, 15 runs in those 3 passes, 12 yards passing in the second half.
It was that sequence of back-to-back sacks by LSU as South Carolina was trying to add to their lead, kick a field goal in the pocket. Sellers brought down, awkward twist of the ankle, and that was perhaps the game-changing moment. And now Robbie Ashford, we would presume, will be back out there trying to create a miracle.
Yeah, and you wonder, you know, as you prep your starting quarterback Sellers, who's inexperienced for these kind of moments, you wonder how many reps Ashford as a backup early in the year has gotten. You know, you usually run your 1s on a Thursday practice in a 2-minute drill. Then you run your 2s. We're about to find out. This is not his wheelhouse. This is an opportunity for him. All they need is 3 points. You got to get to at least inside or at the 35-yard line to have a shot.
I agree. You need about 40 yards here to give Herrera a reasonable chance. You've got 3 timeouts. That's not the issue. Quick drop. Ashford has some space, takes off. He'll be brought down after about 8 yards, and you'd think they'd spend one of the timeouts right here.
They are not. It looks like they're going to give him a chance here, try to get LSU maybe on their heels. Remember, with Ashford, it's quick throws. Get the ball out, or he's got to scramble and go.
From the pocket, and he's wrestled down. They take a sack. It's Braden Swinson, and that is a damaging play inflicted by this LSU defense. Big time.
Sit back and play zone. Rely on your front 4 to get pressure. Keep eyes on the football. And like I said, with a backup quarterback without a great deal of experience throwing, you want, it's either for South Carolina a simple quick read and throw, ball out fast, or a takeoff and a scramble. If he's sitting back there, hitch, that's playing right in the hands of that LSU defense.
Braden Swinson, one of the 16 portal players that LSU brought in from Oregon. You can see the speed. He's been invading the backfield, and boy, after Ashford scrambled there, they got a positive play, didn't spend the timeout, looked a little frantic, and the last thing you want is to take a sack there. That's the 5th by LSU's defense. Herrera hoping they can give him a shot, but still a long way to go. First things first, they got to get 8 yards here in the next couple of plays to keep any hope alive. Ashford again, pressured, escapes, delivers a throw, complete across the middle. Catch made into LSU territory, goes Vandravius Jacobs. That's a play he had to make.
He steps up with so much pressure on him, used his feet to keep the play alive. The defense took some of the underneath receivers, so it opened up that crossing route.
31-yard gain. Now a false start. They tried to get down there, play with tempo. They still have the 2 timeouts. But that play has suddenly moved them within about 7-8 yards of a reasonable field goal try. I'd love to get it a lot closer. You said this passing game had been non-existent really since Sellers went out.
Never got set. The all-11 never got set prior to the snap. The clock was running at the time of the foul. South Carolina is elected to use a timeout to avoid a 10-second runoff. Please reset the game clock to 35 seconds. This is South Carolina's second timeout.
This defender steps up on the underneath route, and there's the throwing lane. So the scramble by the quarterback, you know, he's known for his ability to run. They step up, take the underneath route. Looked like that was Gilbert who took that away, but it opened it up nicely behind that look for Jacobs on that deep crosser. About, what do we say, about 10, 15 yards away from having a shot here.
First and 15. Jacobs. Rashford steps up and is going to be brought down right around field goal range at the 32. It is a first down. So
great effort there at the end of that play. We know about his quickness. That time he said he's going to lower his shoulder. He's fighting for every single yard to give Herrera a shot.
Across the middle, it's incomplete. So they still have the 1 timeout, down to 18 seconds.
That's the freshman Bennett, unable to hold on to that football.
They tried it from here, Kirk. It'd be about a 50-yarder. It's right about the maximum distance in pregame warmup that Herrera was making him.
Yeah, they need 5-6 yards here to feel like he's got a legitimate shot. Do you go to Sanders here, slip him out of the backfield, or does maybe Ashford run the football off that scramble again? There's Sanders.
And Sanders doesn't get much. Whit Weeks gets him down, and they will have to spend their last time out here.
Going to let it run down, use that last time out.
And Alex Herrera had not kicked a field goal before this season. Kicked some PATs, done some kickoff duty last year. It was a 5-man competition in camp. He was going to leave, except Mitch Jeter, the guy he backed up, ends up transferring to Notre Dame. So Herrera says, well, I'll stick around and try to win the job. He does. And now he's in a position that he hasn't been in his college career before.
Left hash, 48 yards out, was making him from 50 towards this end of the field in pregame. Probably has the range, probably from 55. So it's well within his range. LSU has the 2 timeouts, so we'll see if they end up trying to ice him here and think about it, or if they just let it go.
Local guy, played some quarterback in high school, Spring Valley here in Columbia. You don't see much wind on the flags of the goalpost, but it has been very windy, swirling around the top of the stadium. And after all the back and forth, all the lead changes, momentum changes, crazy plays, Herrera will have a 49-yard attempt, and try to freeze him with the timeout as you suggested, to force overtime. That mulligan, that didn't count. Just get that out of your system.
Right.
Man, I mean, we said a lot had happened, and you had the feeling a lot more was going to happen. LSU eventually did punch it in to take that lead, and you frankly didn't give Ashford a great chance backed up to make the pass plays to get down here to give the kicker a chance to force overtime. But to his credit, he did.
He did. After that sack, you thought, oh boy, this thing is going to be tough to do because they just haven't shown much from the passing game. But that scramble and then the vision downfield to hit that crossing route gave him life and gave him hope. Ashford as a backup deserves a lot of credit, man, for at least giving him a shot here.
Hometown kicker try to be a hero to at least extend this game and force OT. Drives it and just misses it. And LSU survives for a huge comeback victory on the road and break South Carolina hearts. This time, LSU is able to finish, just barely. But this was a gritty performance by a team that was on the ropes early.
Absolutely. It says a lot about LSU and their character. They got some breaks, let's face it. People are going to go back on X and they're going to look at, oh, how is this not a call? How's that not a call? Everyone's going to talk about that. But at the end of the day, disheartening. I told you, whoever loses this game, this is a tough one. Sitting there at 2-1, playing well enough to win. And LSU, they played well enough to beat USC. They didn't do it. This time in week 3, they made just enough plays to get out of here on the road in a tough environment and get a win. And this is how close South Carolina came to sending this to overtime. Boy, he hit it clean. I mean, he hit it really well. Just misses it to the left.
Nussmeier not looking. Put the headset on to block out the noise, and Kelly has seen some close losses. You know, you're right. It was gritty. Credit to LSU. There is a lot to dissect. There'll be a lot of talk and chatter because there were a lot of controversial moments, and the officials played a large part in deciding things. Wow. Aggies and the Gators have a tough act to follow.
No doubt. That was fun.
36-33 LSU. Bill Bennell produced the game. Jimmy Platt directed it. For Kirk and Holly, Chris Feller saying so long from Columbia. After word for your ABC stations, stay tuned for the Aggies and the Gators.